Okay. Well, now that I figured that out, at least. Sheesh. Hopefully, I won't have any more Twitch issues today, like we did earlier. Hey, Deutsch. Now, you know that we don't talk about lore. All we talk about is League of Legends. So I was thinking, if we could make League of Legends the only game in the whole universe, the world might be a better place. We could settle all our differences and problems with League of Legends rather than having war or conflict or competition for like jobs or whatnot. All you'd have to do is defeat someone at League of Legends. Nope, sorry, Schmeidoff. We are adhering to Twitch's philosophy, which is that League of Legends is the greatest thing ever. So for those of you who were present earlier, I figured out who the other half-Draenei I was thinking of is. Can anyone guess? Or was anyone even present during that discussion? Yes, Herois, that's totally what they were doing. They were just playing League of Legends against each other. The, what was the name of that episode? It's an original series episode. Fun fact, I once wrote a story revolving around that idea. And then I found out that that episode existed, and then I felt really stupid for, you know, having the similar idea. Because, yeah. Hate it when that happens. I believe there are half-orc humans, but none that are really relevant to the story. And I'm of course not counting Badan. There are no half-Draenei humans to my knowledge. So you're going to laugh at me when I reveal who it was, the guy who I was thinking about earlier. The guy I was thinking about earlier was Murad. Yes, that Murad. And you're probably looking at me like, how the hell did you think he was a half-Draenei? Well, the answer is actually really simple. I had mixed up a couple details in my head. See, one of the significant points of Murad's story arc was the fact that he is actually Garona's uncle. And therefore is the uncle of a half-Draenei. And so then I was like, aha! So that's who I was thinking of, not actually a half-Draenei. Sorry, guys. My bad, as they say. Also, yes, there was a lot of that psychotic for a long time. And then he got together with Agra, and then people were really pissed off about that. Now, while I'm here, let's see if he's here right now. I don't know if he's actually here, but if he is, then this will be great. So here's Grifter. Dangerous out there, ain't it? You know what you need? Protection, man. I can help you to fight death itself. Wear this mad stone around the neck, see, and then you'll be able to come back if you find yourself in the spirit world. Just a quick jaunt to your corpse, and you come up fresh and new. So, this is Grifter.
What you looking for?
This guy's hilarious. Because he sells things like, with this trusty warding talisman, no Tikbalang will ever find you and steal you away to the tree tops. Or, a simple stone that grants the wearer the ability to bound over obstacles and across small gaps. Or, allows you to move through the seas with the greatest of ease. Or how about, this amulet keeps dangerous critters at bay. Its powerful warding magic is temporarily broken if you harm a critter. Or how about, focusing one's metabolism, this pendant allows the wearer to draw great energy from ordinary food and drink Even to heal wounds. When worn, this... wrong one. Wearing this item, one might find the rarest of items in the most mundane of locales. And of course, this one enables you to... So yeah, if you're paying attention, all of these pendants give you the abilities that playing the game gives you. So of course he's a swindler in lore. Because yeah, and I'm not sure if these two are here or not. I don't think they are. I have to admit, I found that wildly funny back in the day, though. Healing shout ability. I actually saw a write-up for how a warrior could be a healing class once. It was humorous. You know, it was basically bullying and intimidating someone to heal faster. Damn, looks like they're not here. I was hoping to show off two other individuals, a scryer and a Draenei. Not that I'm aware of, Casual, but I'm not saying there aren't any. I just can't think of any off the top of my head. Yeah, there. Oh god, it's already up, all the way up in Blade's Edge. Whatever, we need to do this. Yeah, exactly. So kind of get up, damn it, or I'll put my axe in your. Yeah, kind of like that, Nicholas. Kind of like that. Very similar concept. What is their names? So, anybody heard of Jadar or who's the other gentleman? I gotta look up his name. Jadar and Azric. Those are those two. So I'm gonna go ahead and share these conversations because they're not there anymore. So there's this Draenei Aldor Vindicator and a Scryer Blood Elf spy, basically, right? And the two of them were assigned to work together. They hate each other. So early on, Jadar, the Draenei, talks to Grifta, and Grifta says, you know, oh my god, what are you doing? And so Grifta says, dangerous out there, isn't it? Know what you need? Protection. I can help you defy death itself. And Jadar says, you cannot possibly be suggesting these bubbles of yours hold sway over the very fabric of life itself. To which Grifta says, do you want to find out? To which Jadar says, was that a threat? To which Grifta says, no. I'm not going to go through all of these. It just occurred to me he basically responds to every single one of Grifta's outlandish claims. Shortly thereafter, he gets together with Azric, who I just mentioned. So Jadar says, I must have taken leave of my senses, allowing a scryer to aid in such a delicate operation. My services were rendered. The protection of the city is not my jurisdiction. I believe that's why they call you peacekeepers. Had we been fully handling this investigation, I assure you, the evidence would have remained safe. Instead, we used your highly questionable methods. Oh, of course, my methods are questionable. It was my methodology, I'll note, that exposed Grifta as a fraud in the first place. You only had to keep the peace, and you failed at that simple task. Ah. Hi, Myron. Thank you, Myron. Inch closer. I've lost my place. Where was I? Oh yeah, this is Blade's Edge Mountains, by the way. They call it that for a reason. There's the dragon spine. There we go. Hi, Myron. Thank you for the donation. So, getting back to where I was. So Jadar says in Draenei, Ashkaramash Gnakasukul, which means you incompetent, sniveling dandy. And then Azric says in Thalassian, you pompous, upright windbag. They eye each other intently, eyes narrowed. How could you have lost the evidence? I thought it was secure. If your peacekeepers had the clout to control the thieves of this city, this wouldn't have happened. Are you blaming the peacekeepers for your failure? You were entrusted with a simple task. The troll was an obvious fraud. And you're entrusted with keeping the city safe. How am I supposed to perform my simple task if the streets are thick with lowlifes? I can't spit in Shattrath without hitting some grubby burglar. Not that I would spit, of course. I was trying to oust one of those lowlifes you loathe permanently. Next time I'll be certain to specify that I require a competent investigator. And to which Azric says, in Thalassian, they didn't pay me enough to put up with this blowhard. What was that? Oh, nothing. Merely thinking aloud. So, a decent amount of time later. Yes, Gigi's, that's correct. A decent amount of time later, the two of them then are found at a place in Northrend, which they have since moved from. So I'm, again, going to go ahead and read these for you. So, switching back and forth between the voices now. Arrogant. Braggart. Craven. Craven? I am most certainly not. Are we not in the middle of a war? Jadar holds up a finger. What were we on? D? Jadar nods. Thank you. Dolt. In case you're missing it, they were playing a game where they would insult each other using each letter of the alphabet in order. As a game. These guys have a really weird friendship going on. Anyways. Remind me again why I tolerate your company, Azric. Azric smiles. I have decades of practice handling blowhards like yourself, and I'm the only one you know in this abominably freezing land. I should have left you in to rot in this sewer with the filth. No doubt. You're beneath me. A lowly worm, I'm sure. Stop agreeing with me! You're right, of course. It's a terrible practice. Arrgh! Look at us, elf. Unemployed. Destitute. Drinking swill from an establishment in the sewers named after a carrion bird. It's disgusting, I agree. And above it all, I find myself somehow saddled with you, the very man who caused me to lose my job in the first place. That was your doing, not mine, Windbag. I find myself unemployed due to my unfortunate association with your failure. My failure? My failure? It was your incompetence that landed us here, you insufferable blat. Azric rolls his eyes. Come off it, Jadar. That's all I've heard out of you for months. No matter what happened, the point is we're free agents now. No longer tied to politics or duties. Able to roam where we will. Yes, penniless, and away from what we know is in the middle of a frozen, undead-infested wasteland. Perhaps. But with the opportunity to make a name for ourselves. Think of the reception you'd have back in Shattrath as the savior of Azeroth. Slayer of the Scourge. Perhaps after another drink. And then they go back to drinking. And calling each other names for entertainment. It's a high night for her. We'll be seeing those guys again in Northrend, but not immediately. But for now, it is time to awaken the wise, powerful leader that is Garrosh Hellscream. Also, this quest actually really sucks to do if you don't have flying. Which, obviously, you didn't at the time because you weren't 70. So yeah, this quest just kind of sucked to do. Damn it, Deacon. Oh, right. I keep forgetting. Magcar buildings don't have roofs. Not sure why. Damn it, person. You're not there. Okay, there we go.
Glory to the Horde.
Of course, Psychotic. I hope so, anyways. You are very resourceful, Velvaxis. Our greatest gatherers would have taken twice as long. It's almost as though you have a flying mount. Do not be alarmed by what you might see once the effect has taken hold. The spirits are around us always. This potion allows your mind to be able to understand and ultimately see the spirits. You will need to be under its influence if you are to speak with Mother Kashur. You will find her to the southwest at the ancestral grounds.
Go with honor.
At this point in time, yes, Reach. It didn't used to be that way. Sorry, Night Forager. Garrosh is dead. Thank God. Killed him myself. So now we're going to go back into Oshagun. Or at least near it, I should say. I love how you can see Oshagun from literally like half the zone away. I bet Nagrid looks really good once the view radius has been upped in Legion. You know, this is actually an interesting question. This is really off topic, but every single expansion has an acronym attached to it. BC, well, Wrath, Kata, Pand, and of course, WAD. What the heck is Legion going to be? Just L? No, it's probably just going to be Legion. That's a simple enough thing. But yeah, so once upon a time, certain mounts were simply faster than other mounts. And so, literally, if you were on a really, really fast mount, you would go faster than other ones. It was one of the reasons why getting them was so valuable. Later on, they got rid of that entirely and tied your speed to your flying skill. And so now all that matters is you actually having an appropriate skill. That determines your speed, nothing else. Your leg. The ledge! Because apparently we are all strong bad. God, it's already... I don't think I'm going to be able to finish... Blade's Edge today. I'll do my best.
Loktar.
The potion you drink has no real effect. You can only see a spirit if they allow it. The potion is merely a symbol of your belief and dedication. It was a test, and you passed. Do you see them walking around us? The ancestral grounds, no, they're all dead. Oh, there's some, are normally quiet and undisturbed. As of late, the ancestral spirits have risen and are extremely agitated. Something is causing a great disturbance, and we must find out what it is. But first, we must put an end to the immediate threat around us.
Strength.
Okay. I will go ahead and kill all of these orcish spirits. I recommend enhancement for leveling G-Juice, but elemental works well too. And of course restoration can be fun. So basically do whatever you want. That's my advice. Do anything. Yes it does, Psychotic. Although multi-strike has been mentioned as being basically a redundant stat. Well, it depends on what kind of spirit it is. In this case, all we're doing is dissipating their energies. So in this case, all we're doing is erasing them from reality, basically.
What can I do for you?
It is no use. They continue to rise. There must be something more insidious underway. I need you to journey to the villages of our ancestors. Seek them out and see if the ancestors remain.
Farewell.
Yes, I do, Psychotic. No, that was erasing them from time, Night Forger. Big difference. Because here, they'll actually remember them, and they were actually part of the past. The Krenim made sure that they never existed to begin with. You're welcome, Darsh Monster. I'm sorry we're doing a lot of running around back and forth at the moment, because, well, that's how BC was in general. I've already talked about this briefly. It kind of bears repeating. So one of the reasons they had so much of a runaround and back and forth and backtracking in BC quests interesting, was because of the fact that they were adding flying mounts to the game. And so it was Blizzard's assumption that with flying mounts becoming a thing, they wanted the zones to be huge, and so that way you'd be all over the place. Obviously, they have since disagreed with that mentality. They also, in future expansions, would have the quests be more directional, as opposed to go here, then 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 go here, which is what BC is like. In Wrath, it'll be like, go here, then come back, then go here, then come back, then go here, then go here, then come back. Much more organized. Much less stressful. And a lot less backtracking time. So this quest you're not supposed to be flying for, in case you're wondering why these things are spawning in the air and then falling. Kind of like this. Good thing they don't have falling damage, though. No, it is not as bad as vanilla. Nothing is as bad as vanilla. Except for MMOs that came out before this game. Those were worse than vanilla. Yeah, fun fact about that Hylisk, by the way. I did some serious digging trying to figure out exactly how Kazak just, on his own, opened the Dark Portal. You know what I came up with? Absolutely freaking nothing. Nothing. There is no information on how exactly Kazak just abstractly had the power to open up the Dark Portal. Keep in mind the Dark Portal is an incredibly powerful artifact that required the combined efforts of both Gul'dan and Medivh, who was possessed by Sargeras, to open it the first time. And the second time it was opened as a result of using multiple artifacts and a specific combination of spells that Gitaran Gorfin came up with. Kazak wakes up and just... there it goes. And it's open. And that's it. That's just... There's no explanation. He had some kind of artifact he used. That's all we know. I am hating on vanilla. I am absolutely open in my hatred of vanilla. I spit on vanilla. It was sand, because we didn't know what water tasted like. No offense to anybody who liked vanilla, of course. Yeah, he was Kazak the Supreme, whatever that means. I have no idea. He's just some Doomguard who was like, I will open the Dark Portal with my powers of... existing. Yes, I played Star Wars Galaxies. At multiple times in its history. Best vanilla game that was better than it would become. I can't think of anything. I'm sure there are examples, but right now, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything where I feel vanilla was superior to the later versions of any given game that has come out. I will keep my thoughts about Galaxies to myself, because they are very unpopular thoughts, and I don't wish to upset anyone. Falls. Well, there's two answers to that, Zawan Joker. Answer number one is they did, and we just don't see the kids, or they sent the kids back through the portal. Answer number two is they never had time. Uh, I will... Okay, the nicest thing I could say about Star Wars Galaxies was that it was very much not aimed for me, market-wise. Kind of like EVE Online, actually, to use another similarity. EVE Online is not aimed at my demographic. I have zero enjoyment in that game. Well, that's not true. That's not zero enjoyment. But there's such a lack of developer-generated content, relatively speaking, that I don't enjoy it. It's all about player-generated content. And that's not my thing. That's not what I want to enjoy. That's not what I'm interested in, right? Star Wars Galaxies was pretty much the same thing. There was a total dearth of actual developer-generated content. It was all player-generated. And I didn't enjoy that. And that's, yeah, like I said, that's the nicest thing I could say about Star Wars Galaxies. Of course, there was another Spacebound MMO I enjoyed quite a bit. Big, tall, strong, Tada-o, proud. God, I hope someone gets that. Anybody? No, nobody's going to get that. I don't know why I'm even saying that. I wish Javan was on right now. He would totally look at this and be like, holy crap. This is exactly what's wrong with WoW. Just running from place to place. I have nothing to talk about right now. I've got some notes for Blade's Edge when we get there, but it's like, yep. Here's Nagrand. I don't enjoy it, Zawon. That's all. I mean, that's literally it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my thing. I want a story. I want quests. I want plot. I want to do something that matters to me, as opposed to interacting with other players in a sandbox. That's not my thing. Never has been.
Loktar.
Ashigun. Yes, I've done that, Reach. The Diamond Mountain was once sacred to my people. It was there that clans would gather every year to celebrate the Springtime Festival. It was there our shaman communed with the honored ancestors. It was the center of our culture, until the shadows overtook us. When the clans became the Horde, the spirits of Ashigun fell silent. The ancestors turned their backs on us.
Go forth to victory.
STO is awesome. STO's Foundry is awesome. But that's not what I mean by player-generated content. The Foundry is not player-generated content. I know that sounds contradictory, but it's not. Player-generated content is when there's just free-form, players interact with each other. And that's what the content is. Again, EVE Online is probably the best example that I can come up with right now. Just you interact with them, and they interact with you, and there's politics, and there's economics, and there's war, and all that stuff, and that's all player-generated. It's basically a big sandbox where the players just interact with each other. Player-generated, the Foundry is the developers giving the developer tools to the players to make quests and whatnot, but that's still, by this definition, follows under developer-generated content. Which I know sounds contradictory, but just, what do you want from me? Yes, all of the ancestors who are currently being sucked in here are being consumed into the void. So that's a fun thought. Has the Bastion ever sent someone to Outland? Yes. It's the same person they sent to Azeroth, actually. But I don't have Super Blood Reach, so I'm okay. I actually talked about that extensively earlier. I'm Not on Fire. It's a combination of multiple circumstances, basically. Deliberate terraforming and lack of fell corruption is the really, really quick and dirty summary. So we found K'ure. It's funny, I've already talked about all this, so I can't... I'm just going to zip through this, because I've already talked about all this. There's just nothing to add here. Garrosh is such a bad leader, he saved her. Oh my god, Garrosh needs to die. Oh wait, he is dead. Yay! Soul... Wow, third. That's, interesting. Hey, we're at our new destination. Hello, Adal. Also, this is kind of a neat thing. You might have wondered what this is if you've noticed this before. This is a nice little model of the Sunwell. And it's actually pretty accurate, too. That's Magister's Terrace over there. That's most of the open areas we'll be doing quests in. And, of course, this is the path to the entrance and the Sunwell itself. Right there in the middle. Just a neat little thing. K'ure was wise to send you here. While we cannot assist you with the suffering of our ancestors, there's one that can. Deep within Auchenai crypts... Oh, crap. I need to do Auchenai. God damn it. I just want to... Okay. If you could, Hylas, that would be great. So I can just get this over with and not have to actually sit in the queue. And then deal with pugs. I admittedly... This is my fault. I freely admit my failure here. I completely forgot that doing Auchenai Crypts was part of the Get Thrall to Show Up chain. I thought this was part... I knew about this quest. I actually thought this was part of another quest. We have no idea, cosmologically speaking, where Draenor sits relative to Azeroth. I will say this, in Outland, you can actually see Azeroth from Outland. But, that, given the fact that Outland is in the Nether, that doesn't mean anything other than the fact that it means Azeroth is very closely connected to the Nether, which we already knew. So, in terms of actual cosmology, no, we have no idea. So pretty. Oh, whoop, sorry. I've seen some people try to generate a solar system situation with regards to this setting. But considering there's only 3 planets we absolutely know about, oh, excuse me, 4 planets we absolutely know about in this entire setting, there's not much to go off of. There's Argus, Azeroth, Draenor, and I forget what its what its name is, but it's the ethereal homeworld, and that's it. The Nether was one of the original things. I'm just gonna leave the queue there. Yeah, you can come in too. I'd suggest you hurry. Because, damn it, stop dragging me to a PvP realm. God damn it. Frickin' PvPing. I hate PvPing so much. Oh, God, I hate it so much. Yes, Ziwan, I personally think they could. At least as long as, they are willing to do completely deplorable things to win. Well, I mean, there's multiple stars in the galaxy, Leander, so I guess that counts. Yep, the dragon is still after me, Permeus. I can't get away from him. suppose I'll go ahead and poke my head in here. Let's see how much we can solo before Hylas gets here. Not even going to pick up those quests. Well, it's true. There are multiple suns in the galaxy. They are a pure gameplay mechanic. I'm not. There's some indication that if the player character dies, they can be, it's not their time to die or whatever. But that is, it's purely a gameplay mechanic. Let's just be honest with it. Also, we just pulled way too much. So you're about to see what death looks like. Ugh. So there you go. That's what it looks like when you're doing a dungeon and you're not super overpowered. You have been informed. Well, just making sure. You might not have known, Reach. Some people might not be... I forget what it was, but there's this joke about a really noob player who's never played WoW before. And he's talking in all caps in general chat about how he doesn't know what's wrong with his game because for some reason everything's black and white and he can't seem to attack anything. Oh my god! Shut up, you stupid dragon. Oh my god. So let's try this slightly more cautiously. Oops. Not far enough, not far enough. There we go. I do remember that quest, yes, Schmeidolf. Because he's hiding, basically. There's also a couple quests that involve you deliberately dying in order to try and interact with multiple creatures who are already dead, basically. Oh, hey, Hylisk. Hey, they're dead. Alright. Wait, guys. What if there's like 10 suns in the galaxy? Does that sound about right? Maybe like 9? I don't know. I think we can all agree, especially you, the one Joker, that we should replace our previous transmog with this one for the weapon. So we've got this awesome polearm thing going on. Or we could use Gorehal, because we have that for some freaking reason. It's not actually the Gorehal, that's actually in Karazhan. No, it totally fits. Check it out. It's like the Barbarella thing going on here. Most of my favorite transmogs are aren't actually a specific set. They're mixes and matches of multiple other sets. Nicolas. Well, glaives are going to become a new weapon type as soon as we hit Legion, and it'll be exclusive to Demon Hunters, so I don't think that's really an issue. As far as more polearms, well, at this moment, nobody actually uses polearms, really, so I'm not really sure we need more of those within our existence at the moment. What can I say, Cashel? Someday, God willing, I will play that game. And hopefully I'll get my actual account back. Instead of having to start over again.
How dare you come here? Outsiders are forbidden.
There's
Yeah.
no turning back now.
Yeah, exactly. A transmog, King Bubble.
I
Not actually using a polearm. Okay, so there's D'Ore. The actual reason we've been coming here. No, it wasn't hacked. It was Square Enix. Square Enix? I'm not sure what else to call that. So you notice D'Ore is very bright, almost as bright as a doll. This is because D'Ore has basically just been resurrected, and is therefore at the furthest end of the light side of its cycle, having recently come back from the void. The memory is vivid. My energies were wholly drained by the crash. I was only a dim speck of void when Valen and his Draenei companions lifted my remains and brought them here. After much ceremony, my diminished form was laid to rest within the sarcophagus. I have been regenerating for 230 years. Don't say nearly 1,000. Don't exaggerate. For several centuries, or 230 years, the spirits of Auchindoun coalesced into the darkened essence. Many of the catastrophes that befell this crypt were a direct result of my weakened state. Regrettably, there is nothing that can be done to stop this cycle. It is a facet of the Naru condition. Without the void, the light cannot exist. Your only recourse is to destroy the ancient spirits of Nagrand before they transform into creatures of the void. So how many of you did this quest back in the day and forgot to pick up this soul mirror right here? And then left and had to do the entire dungeon all over again? Yeah, that was fun. And my hearth is not up. Door's right there, dude. What? The erase of save points. Yeah, I know, right, Hylisk? 200 years. Yeah. Whatever, I guess we'll walk out the old-fashioned way. Just thinking, 3 more levels, we'll be able to fly faster. Oh, you're right, Deutsch. Here we go. Just for you, man. Gotta select him. Gotta make sure he's not casting a terrible portal. This is just for you, Deutsch. Just for you. Forevermore. Oh, yep. So yeah, the music in there is very Diablo 2. It's actually the same composer, I believe, who did Diablo 2. And leaving group forever. Here, is this better than one Joker? That sounds horrible, Leander. Oh, you want to zoom while I'm walking? Oh, I apologize. I apologize. Let me fix that really quick. There you go. Is this better, Z1? So now, we're going to go massacre ancestral spirits. You can speed it up by getting higher flight speed, basically. There used to be items, trinkets, and whatnot you could do to increase your mount speed, but they don't function anymore. Back in vanilla, there was Carrot on a Stick, which is a trinket that a lot of people, myself included, just left on even while, you know, doing, like, dungeoning and whatnot, because it made you faster on mount. And in Outland, there was the Rider's Crop, which did the same thing. Those don't really function anymore, like I said. Nowadays, it's all about your skill, which at the moment is 270% for me. At 70, I will be able to buy that. Artisan Writing, which makes me go even faster. Oh, I don't know, little Billy. I'm not even sure why it's doing that. It really shouldn't. Functionally, there's no real difference, I'm not on fire, other than the obvious fact that their natural demons were born that way, have always been demons, whereas everything else has, you know, was converted into a demon-like form. That also means not every member of a given species is a particular demon. For example, to use a very obvious example, not every Eridar is a demon. Not every Anilan is a demon, etc., etc. So, that's the main difference between the two. The other difference is, of course, a natural demon can pretty much practice fel magic infinitely without consequence. A poorly converted demon cannot. They have to consider the consequence of fel magic. A properly converted fel demon, a true ascended fel demon, can use fel magic infinitely just as if they were a natural demon, like Archimand or Kil'jaeden, to name my two favorite examples. Oh, there they are. Die. Die. So yeah, what we're doing here, if you're wondering. So these are ancestral spirits who are marching into Oshagun to be consumed by Uru or M'uru, whichever one it is. I forget which one is in there. God, I was just talking about it earlier. But yeah, that guy. And so to prevent them from this horrible, horrible fate, we are using this mirror on them, which is forcing them into a void state early, and then killing them, in order to prevent them from being absorbed into the void. I'm not sure if that's really better, to be completely honest. Well, they do plan to build a new universe after they've wiped out the current one, Cashel. So, otherwise, no. That's the goal. Wipe out all life, all civilization, all matter, all energy. Just wipe the board completely clean, and then build a new, proper reality in its place. One that isn't corrupt and disgusting and horrible, and doesn't include things like pain or misery or suffering. It'll be a nice, orderly reality. Now, I was being facetious earlier. We are actually helping these spirits out. What we're actually doing, put simply, is we are releasing the spirits so that the void that is left over can then be destroyed, freeing the actual spirit. So, again, we are actually doing good by these people. We're not just torturing them and massacring them for no reason. Venters, I'm not sure that's actually a fan theory anymore. There is simply too much evidence to support it. The only question is which Naru is the Ashbringer. In fact, I actually have notes right here that list the two Naru that are the most likely candidates for being the Ashbringer. One of them is Ka'ada, which is possible. And the other one, which I think is far more likely, is Daore, since some of his essence was claimed by the demonic horde once they stormed over Terakar, and therefore some of him would have been claimed by them in order to use it to make the shard, etc., etc. I'm sure it'll be fine, Jengis. These 15 are the crucial 15. It's like super delegates, except super spirits instead. No, we have not met any Titans in-game. In any of the games, for that matter. We've never even actually seen Sargeras, the Dark Titan. I suppose it would be the fact that the light would be naturally antithetical to their more fell energy. But this is going to sound like a weird question. Can you think of any example of a demon being specifically hurt by the light more than other energy sources? Because I can't think of any off the top of my head. I mean, the light can be an offensive weapon, and that would be why they would be hurt by the light. But I don't remember any fell creature who is specifically weak to light or more affected by light. It depends, actually, Little Billy. For example, I have an Alchemist mount, which I can use on anyone. I also have 2 Engineering mounts I can only use if I have Engineering. So it depends on the specific mount. Depends I'm not on fire. If the Titans have access to all the tools at their disposal, the Titans will win that fight. If the Titans and the Old Gods were fighting, you know, barehanded, quote-unquote, no tools, no nothing, the Old God would probably win the fight. Come out, wherever you are. Must free more spirits by killing them with kindness. That's what I'm actually doing, guys. I'm killing them with kindness. Oh, there's one. Magni, no, there's several groups actually contributed to turning Ashbringer into Ashbringer. I forget the specific names of everyone involved, but the last person involved was the dwarf, who actually put the finishing touches on turning it into the Ashbringer. Well, Darshmonster, just to name one thing right off the top of my head, if the Titans had some kind of like an observer character, it would be very important for us to prevent that observer from seeing how bad stuff has gotten here. And then, of course, there's Ra-Den, who probably should never, ever be allowed to contact the Titans, ever. That's true, Zewan. Can you think of anything in lore that supports that?
Greetings.
Okay, so, these Naru are wise beyond all manner of life on this world. I'm not sure I agree with that. You have completed a long and dangerous journey, risking life and limb to ensure the safety of the Magkar, the serenity of our ancestors. For this, I am thankful beyond what words can convey. Return to Great Mother Gera. This will surely uplift the spirits, and perhaps even young Hellscream will be lifted from his malaise. Surely Hellscream will be very happy and excited to learn that you have freed his people. Because that's totally what's going to happen. Part of the reason I ask this, Zawan Joker, is because we know demons can actually wield the light. So that's why I'm just like, So let's see, I need to kind of re-piece together the Skittles suit here. I would probably say the Scourge, in all honesty. I'm not on fire. Especially since we've seen the old gods go all out. They've done that, and they lost. So, yeah. There we go. I think that's a good Skittles suit. What do you guys think? Theoretically, under the right circumstances, yes, I'm not on fire. But that's the same as saying, you know, we could beat the Legion, theoretically, under the right circumstances. That is also assuming everything we know about the Legion right now is true. Which, I mean, obviously we don't know if everything we know about the Legion right now is true. Put that one there. So we'll do these ones, okay. Okay. Why is Thrall still here? Go away. Yes, Hylisk, we actually turned the gem into Ashbringer.
Glory to the Horde.
I want you to personally deliver this news to Garrosh. Okay, I can do that. You've done so much for the Mag'har. Your accomplishments are known to all, including Garrosh. Go to him now and tell him of your latest victory. Tell him that you do what you do for him and his people. Surely, surely he will be lifted by your words. What do you have to say, Garrosh, idiot scream?
Strength and honor.
Everyone is proud. Proud our people will live to see another winter. But beyond that, what is there? Maybe you should lead this clan. Maybe then I'll be allowed to die when Great Mother passes. Allowed to finally erase the shame of my family name. I long for such peace. Oh, I could totally give you such peace, Garrosh. You have an honorable blood elf, Velvaxus. You have done much for the Mag'har. No one could deny your service to my people. Alas, the time of the Mag'har is at an end. You have shown me more than anything I am unfit to lead these people. My cursed blood runs too deep. I will not become the second Hellscream to damn the orcs. Please return to the Great Mother and tell her what I have told you. I am too ashamed to look at her.
Go forth to victory.
By the way, second of 3 Hellscreams to damn the Horde. Okay, why, Thrall? I need you to go away because I don't want to screw up the quest. I would like to see this cutscene. It's the whole reason I bothered doing all this crap. So go away. Go away. Go away. Ah, whatever. Let's just see what happens.
What do you need?
I can no longer fight the spirits. My time has long since passed. Once again, I must thank you for all you've done. While Garrosh may be unmovable, many of my people have been lifted by your accomplishments. They were now willing to fight for our rights as a united clan. You remind me of my son, Velvaxus. He was an immovable mountain, a pillar of strength and honor. He sacrificed himself so we could survive, so generations of orcs after him would be born into a world without the blood curse, without Gul'dan and his dark horde. Oh, Durotan, how I wish you could be here. Your people desperately need you. Wait, Great Mother? You are the mother of Durotan? Did you know my son? Great Mother, I never had the honor. Durotan died long before my time, but his heroics are well known to all my people. The orcs of Azeroth reside in a place known as Durotar, named after your son. And his son is my war chief, the leader of my people from my world. He is the son of Durotan. He is your grandchild. So she is, of course, emotionally moved by this moment. Durotan survived to have a child? The child Draka told me of before they left. It was their greatest fear, to raise a child in this world. On the other side of that gate was their only hope. I dared not tell Durotan, but secretly I begged the spirits to watch over them, to protect their child and give him strength. I must see my grandchild. I must see him. Please, you must tell him before I leave this world.
Farewell. What can I do for you?
I'll take those.
Strength.
No. There's a pretty good chance we're not going to see this cutscene. Yep, we're not going to see the cutscene. Fan-freaking-tastic. So I'm just going to tell you what happens. So what happens next is Thrall, who has spent the entire time since our time in Hellfire Peninsula getting ready for an expedition out here, finally comes out here with an entire group of his Kor'kron. He rushes up and he's like, "Where is everyone? I must know." And he encounters Garrosh. And Garrosh is really sad. He's like, I am an emo idiot. I am a fool who barely deserves to exist. And he's like, "What? That's what you think of your father?" And then Thrall makes his biggest mistake. And Thrall shows him exactly what Grom did all the way back at Warcraft 3. And he shows him how Grom killed Manoroth and freed their people. And so Garrosh is rejuvenated by this. Yes! Clearly I was wrong all along. Clearly Grom was a hero! And I must emulate his ways. And we kind of know how that goes with Garrosh. Not really, Ventures. Although it always made me look, kind of tilt my head a little bit weird when you'd see those drop, and it's like, aren't those Thrall's potions? And thus Thrall makes one of his biggest mistakes that he's ever made. One of three, I think, of his biggest mistakes. The first was his willingness to accept peace at any cost, which cost him his people's prosperity. The second was he rejuvenates Garrosh and brings him back with him to Azeroth. And the funny thing is, he treats Garrosh as if he's like a younger brother kind of a situation. Because Thrall was actually very close to Grom. So he's like, "Oh, yes, you are clearly my brethren." Garrosh is actually older than Thrall, funnily enough. But so he treats Garrosh as if he's this pup, and is like, "Ah, yes, you are clearly going to be this amazing person just like your father was." And he basically he gives Garrosh a lot of responsibilities and position and commitment he probably shouldn't have. And this is really funny, by the way, because of the fact that Thrall pretty much puts the Northrend expedition under Garrosh's command. When Garrosh goes to Northrend and we beat the Scourge up there, Garrosh doesn't do jack about it. We're the ones who actually defeat the Scourge up there. Then Garrosh gets all the credit for that. And then he makes his third biggest mistake, which is he names Garrosh War Chief. Yeah. No flying in Blade's Edge. What, you want to triple the length of the Lorerun? I've done that before, thanks. No more. Never again. So, welcome to the Blade's Edge Mountains, finally. This is what became of Frostfire Ridge and Gorgrund when the two were basically smashed together as a result of Draenor turning into Outland. This is pretty much the home of the Grahn and the primary place where the ogres are in Outland. As you can see, it's a little bit unstable and a little bit horrifying. The massive jabbing rocks everywhere are pretty evocative, I have to admit. They did a really good job with the visual aesthetic of this zone. Yeah, I'm going the right way. Just making sure. Oh, I will, Darker. I will. And we'll talk about the Black Dragonflight in general and what they were doing here. We'll also talk about this guy. You've probably heard of him. Rexar, champion of the Horde. He is a Mok'Nathal, half ogre, half orc. But we'll get to him in a minute.
Loktar.
There's a threat to the fact that I'm on the wrong character. So you should switch characters. Okay. That's my character's voice. Alright, okay. I'll go switch characters. And then I'll be the Worgen. I am the Worgen. Rawr. My voice acting is phenomenal when my throat is killing me, let me tell you. Lorthermar. I'm not on fire. I don't even have to think about that. Lorthermar is easily the best choice. So here we are, once again in Blades Edge Mountains. I'm already here, as you can see. Yes, it was actually not a half Draenei. I was actually wrong. I was thinking of Murad. Okay.
Greetings.
So, we have a go-to quest here. Oh, I will, Genghis. I will.
Elune light your path.
Alright. So. Sylvanar.
Goddess bless you.
We've been growing the Living Grove at an accelerated rate, but somehow the lynxes have become lost to our control. Where once their population was stable, the Grovestalker lynxes are now beginning to encroach upon Sylvanar, and there have been a number of unpleasant incidents of late. I suspect the Arakoa of Vale Losh are somehow behind it. But the immediate issue is the lynxes themselves. Okay, we can deal with this.
Stars guide you.
I don't think it would have been possible for him to do within a generation, Little Billy. It's just too hard. I don't actually need that quest, so we're going to move on then. I'll talk about this grove in just a minute, as soon as we finish getting all these quests.
How may I help?
There is a threat to Sylvanar far deadlier than the Horde at Thunderlord of Stronghold. I am speaking of the native ogres of these mountains. Just to the south and east, down the ravine, lives the Bloodmaw clan. While they aren't the only group of ogres that threaten us here, they are the closest. I would have you head down there and slay them.
Asha Fela.
I'm actually only picking up a very small number of quests here, by the way.
What is nature's call?
The magic practiced by the Lashan Arakoa is unnatural. They rip out handfuls, or clawfuls, of their own feathers as reagents. That doesn't sound like good magic to me. I've come here to learn more about their spells. Unfortunately, getting close is too much for me. You could succeed. Cast one of their spells yourself, and return to me. You'll have to find one of their spell books. And unless you've grown feathers I can't see, you'll need to get some of those too.
Welcome. Watch your back.
What's on your mind? Off with you.
That's actually basically it as far as Alliance-specific quests, which is kind of sad when you think about it. So this is... No, they are not Night Fortress. So this is a new area that's been built into the Blades Edge Mountains that the Cenarian Expedition have actually... Oh, right, I'm not playing my Paladin, I'm playing my Death Knight. That the Cenarian Expedition has put together specifically to try and terraform the area. So most of this, the trees that have been growing and the grass that's been stretching throughout this area, All of this is actually part of their expansion efforts to try and fix Outland. This is literally a good example of what they can accomplish. We'll actually see as we go further into this zone, on the Horde specifically. But there will be quite a bit of obvious horribleness in Blade's Edge Mountains, and it's pretty likely that given the unstable nature of the place, Blade's Edge might actually descend into the Nether if not for these terraforming efforts. I'm not going to give a comment on the Orc expansion thing. Favorite raid in Warlords? Well, there aren't many to choose from. That's a tough one. I'm very torn between Foundry and Hyamol. I like both of them quite a bit, actually. So I suppose I will pick it a tie between the two. No, we haven't really talked about the Mok'Nathal since we're not there yet. So I'd rather save that until we are literally at the Mok'Nathal village. One of the things I like, and they mention this in a few things, they've literally taken plants and trees and seeds and animals from other parts of Outland, and from Azeroth as well, and transplanted them here to try and enforce this whole new ecology situation here. So, for example, most of these trees are actually transplanted from Terakar Forest, specifically. I need 18 feathers for this? Jeez Louise. I have to admit, by the way, this form of spellcasting is kind of horrifying when you think about it. I mean, I know it's just feathers, but I'm trying to think of what the human equivalent to that would be. Like if you had to chop off a finger every time you cast a spell or something, you know? Maybe not that severe. Maybe if you had to, like, just cut yourself and bleed all over something. Oh, wait, we have that kind of a thing. Especially in, like, Dragon Age Origins, for example. Blood magic, you know? Cast. I don't think Northrend needs a remake, personally. But I do think Outland needs a remake, personally. As long as we at least have the option to go back to the original Outland. There's no reason to remove it from existence. Or, yeah, tear hair out. There you go. That's a good thing to do. Whole chunks of hair. It just seems like a weird form of magic, you know? A unique form of self-sacrifice in that it's not super debilitating, like literally chopping off your hand or whatever. But it's still kind of messed up. Skin magic? That sounds so gross, Toich. Just carry around a, like a potato peeler. Just like, there we go. High magic? We already have that. The Bleeding Hollow clan do that. Although that's kind of a one-way deal situation. In other words, you only get the one benefit of doing so. I suppose they would have to redo a bit of the quest dialogue in Northrend, but I don't think they should update it to be modern. I think it would be better if they just updated Outland to line up with the storyline a little bit better, but kept Outland in the past, if you know what I mean. So have it be, Outland is the beginning of the game, and then Northrend, and then Kata, and so forth and so on. Yeah, me too. I love it when birds don't drop feathers. I mean, this is actually probably the most ridiculous thing. I mean, zebra hooves is my personal favorite. It's like, how many zebras don't have hooves? Or wolf teeth is another one. Just the wolves who just don't have teeth. But for God's sakes, these are bird people. They've got like 100 feathers each, and yet they're not dropping feathers. Come on, guys. Really? Really? And one thing I will say, I find it interesting. Do not mention basilisk brains to me. I hated those quests in the Blasting Lands. Hated those quests in the Blasted Lands so much. God damn it. I have so many bad memories of those quests. Anyways, how was I saying? Oh, I'm amused by the fact that the Arakoa are so against the Cernarian expedition's efforts here. Because what they're doing is creating a better living, terrain, which is better for the Arakoa, too. The Arakoa would be like, trees and things that they could, fly around in. It'll be great, it'll be wonderful. And, nope. They're the Arakoa, so they're kind of... Death to all who are not us, and also Terok. I think that pretty much describes Arakoa politics in a nutshell. The prettiest heads. Clearly that's what it is. See you around, Taqueta, by the way. Don't forget, we have already announced that there's going to be an announcement trailer sometime in the future, because that's the state of the existence that we're at this point in time. Oh, thank God, we're done. We've got all the feathers. Whew. Okay, let's cast one of these spells. Let's see what happens here. I love how this quest is literally just cast a spell, you don't know what it is, and you know it's like evil magic, and you just cast it on yourself. It's like, really? Okay, so flipping through it, you find a bunch of scratch notes and spindly script of the Lashan Arakoa. Then you find a page with a pictogram of the circles of power you've seen in Vealash. Aha! So you use the feathers there. Confusing iconography seems to show an Arakoa being suffused with the spirit of a Kaliri. Okay, whatever. We can make that work. Let's see what happens, shall we? Alright, I have been infused with the essence of the Kaliri. I am now a bird werewolf. Excellent. Wait, what? I lost the buff. Gosh darn it. Let's try that again. Infuse me! Don't worry, I don't have to get another 18 feathers. At least I hope I don't. Because that would be kind of unpleasant. Infuse me with the essence of the bird people. Yes. Yes. Bird people. Maybe it's because I mounted? Is that why it went away? Let's try walking back. Yeah, it looks like it happened because I mounted or something. I probably just outran the bird, because you notice the bird has to actually keep up with me there. Anyone else have just the weird... Oh, never mind. I'll shush about it. There we go. Okay, I must analyze it quickly. Then we can dock.
Hi.
This is exciting. Can't wait to examine the workings of the spell. Well, I don't know what to say. The spell is very strange. It's not simply a conjuration or enchantment, but it's a communion or a communication spell. I'm not sure what to make of it. But thanks for the help. I think I'll think this through sooner or later. Meanwhile... Oh, that was fast. Are you sure you dealt with as many as was necessary? Excellent. There's something else you can help us with, if you're willing. The filthy races of the Horde have taken over a settlement to the east. They've brought with themselves a large pack of the dire wolves that they prefer to use as mounts and sentries. These sentries have been marauding across the bridge that separates us. They've been stalking our fell drakes, which are critical to the pollination of the living grove. Use the east exit and traverse the bridge over Bloodmaw Ravine that leads to the Jagged Ridge, and kill them all. All of them. I have to admit, this is another screwed up situation. So, of course, the Cenarian Expedition are the ones who pretty much started this terraforming effort. But this is an alliance town. So, because of the hostility between the two, despite the fact that, again, this terraforming is in everyone's best interests, the Horde are like, yeah, we'll just harass them. Yeah, it's not a big deal. We'll just let all our wolves go over there and kill them. It's all good. It's all good. And no, I don't actually have the toy. I still need to get Pepe into several different bosses, and that's probably gonna have to wait till Legion, to be honest with you. Yeah, seriously, Darch, can't we just go to the Horde and be like, look, you're literally messing up the terraforming efforts. Could you please stop? Please. We need them in order to pollinate the new flowers. Do you know what an ecosystem even is, you Horde idiots? I mean, Rexar is willing to be reasonable. Come on. Whatever. I love this. So, we could get feathers to drop from birds, but we could get tails to drop from wolves. What is it with BC and wolf tails? God, I love the aesthetic of the Blade's Edge. Look at this place. It just looks deadly. Like, if you really think about it, this isn't that horrible of a place. But it just has that look of just, oh, God, to it.
I am honored.
I cannot stress strongly enough the need for those direwolves to be dealt with. Their very existence endangers the stability of the living grove and all our work here. Good. I'll see if I can fashion something from these tales. No doubt the Horde will find a way to replenish the numbers of their pack. But for now we can breathe a little easier. There's one more thing I'd ask of you in defense of Sylvanar. Though you've done a great deal of good in defense of our new home here, I still feel the living grove needs more protection. Here, take this small tree bow that I have imbued with the force of nature. When used upon the seedlings I have planted in the grove, it will call down a storm to accelerate the growth of a treant defender. Those treants are critical to the defense of the grove, especially if you choose not to make Sylvanar your own for long.
Go in peace.
Okay, I can go help you build some new things. We require more Vespine gas, though, so... Looks like someone's already been over here. Actually, I already answered that question, Hylisk. But to repeat in short, the Mag'har were primarily orcs who were too weak or were infected with the red pox, and as a result were artificially separated from the rest of the horde. So the demonic horde literally left them alone because they were plagued. Gameplay balance, Zoan Joker, is the answer. It was a StarCraft joke, Night Forager. Basically, I was making a joke that we're basically building defenses around the city here. So, you know, we need resources to... It's a dumb joke. Now, I will say this in response to what Zoan Joker just said. Once upon a time, I wanted really badly to play an unarmed Tauren. My reasoning was that Taurens are big, powerful, meaty creatures, so I should be able to just run up and punch things to death. Well, the game doesn't work that way. That lasted until like level 8. So I eventually had to finally equip a weapon. But I feel it's the same thing with Worgen. You'd think Worgen could just be unarmed, but the gameplay balance doesn't allow that.
Greetings.
How fares the bolstering of our living grove's defenses? With the intentions of the Arakoa unknown and the Horde on just the other side of the ravine, I fear that if we do not move quickly, we will find ourselves in a poor situation to protect our new home and our work in the grove. Now that you've strengthened the grove's defenses, I may feel much safer. You've earned our thanks and our appreciation. Of course, it just occurred to me there's something else we need to have taken care of. Really? Really? With their wolf pack reduced, the Horde is looking for replacements. Unfortunately, there's another source nearby. The Bloodmaw ogres in the ravine below have a strong pack as their own sentries. I hated sending you to kill the Thunderlord wolves, so why don't we do something different this time? I've derived a magic powder from the dust that naturally falls off the wings of our Fey Drakes. Sprinkle it on the Bloodmaw direwolves to make them undesirable to the Horde. And yeah, as an aside, given how iconic the totem weapon was in Warcraft 3, I am amazed that after 12 or 13, or however many years it's been, we still don't have the totem weapon. I mean, for God's sakes. No, it's okay, Hylisk, it's okay. We're not going to kill these wolves. We're just going to make them undesirable for the Horde. If any are here. There's one. You might think, well, what are we doing to make them undesirable? Well... we make them cute and little. We all know the Horde doesn't like cute things. For the Horde of anti-cute. That is an alliance druid. That is an alliance-allied druid, to make my statement absolutely clear. That is not a woman who was with the expedition. The expedition would, and can, and has, walk up to the Horde and say, smack, stop it. Because again, the expedition is really just interested in the reclamation of Outland. They have no problem walking up to either of the political factions and saying, look, if they're getting in the way of it. And they're on good terms with the Horde. Considering my only Tauren is a druid, I'm not sure what I would do if we ever get the totem. God, there's spikes everywhere. Look at it. So what do you guys think? After this, we're going to split. After Blade's Edge, we will only have Netherstorm and Shadowmoon Valley left. One of them is going to be Horde, and one of them is going to be Alliance. And it doesn't actually matter which is which, so... Which do you think we should send our Alliance to, guys? Any luck out there? I know it's dangerous work to be doing this amongst the Blood Maul or ogres, but if we can avoid killing any more of the animals, I'd be happy. Oh, I'm glad to hear that it worked. The fewer the number of nature's creatures that have to die, the better. With all that you've done for us already, I must say I'm growing very fond of your company. Take care, Xylem.
Asha Fela.
So, these spikes are a natural, I should say a very unnatural byproduct of the fact that this is basically 2 entire zones smushed into one. All of Gorgrond and all of Frostfire were smashed into this. And that's why Blade's Edge is this really messed up area. Like, the terrain in here in general is broken, ignoring the spikes all over the place. I would laugh to see that Darch monster. Okay, Sylvanas, no more war crimes. Varian, no more being a bigot. Just work it out. Yeah. Well, either way, we'll dispatch this character later. There's no way we're going to do that today. So I'll just park him by the Flight Master. There we go. So now we're going to do the rest of Blade's Edge Mountains. Basically, there's not a lot of Alliance-specific quests here. There's like one other little detail, but I can just talk about that rather than actually do that. That is the atmosphere which is literally burning away into the Nether. Hey, Samurai. So, Blade's Edge Mountains. There is a threat to the Thunderlord's stronghold, worse than the Alliance at Sylvanar. I speak of the ogres just to the west, down the ravine, where the Bladespire clan resides. While they aren't the only ogres, they are the closest, and they're the ones that we defeated to take this place. And go kill the crap out of them.
Strength.
Actually, Hylisk, based on what we know, see you around, Zoan Joker. I would say Northrend, Nicholas. This became the headquarters of the Gron, basically, since the Gron were so prevalent in Gorgrond and the entire area. So the Gron ended up here, and the Gron, of course, enslaved the ogres and took them with them, so most of the ogres were kept here as a consequence of that. Remember, as of this point in time, when we enter Blade's Edge Mountain, all of the ogres here, with one group of exceptions, are all enslaved by their Gron overseers. The Gron actually rule the Blade's Edge.
Magraw.
The Thunderlord were once a proud orc clan, before they were transformed into fell orcs by the blood of Manaroth. Recently, we recovered this orc stronghold from the ogres that infest the ravine below. They had moved in when the Thunderlord abandoned it. We will keep this place, and I will have your help in doing so. To the Jagged Ridge are bloodletters that have become a plague unto us. They eat and breed incessantly. Kill them,
Strength.
and return to me. So yeah, pretty much all ogre power in Outland, after Draenor was shattered, is centered here, but not by the ogre's volition, again, because they were dragged here as slaves. Not everything, Hylisk, For example, some of these locations were things that were around before Draenor exploded, but most of this stuff, most of the actual locations, like those ogre pits and whatnot, were built after the explosion. Oh yeah, so now that we're actually in range to showcase one, so you see what those are? I know it's kind of hard to tell. Those, I really should say, were black dragons that have been impaled on the spires of the Blade's Edge. I am too, darker. There's one over there too, and there's a skull up there. There's a few we'll be seeing as we go throughout this area. There's another one down there. So the Gron, there's actually kind of a story here, which I guess I'll tell while I'm killing ogres. So, Deathwing, back when he wasn't really that big of a deal, Deathwing came here and was like, aha, yes, this will be my new land. See, Deathwing was thinking that because this was a world that didn't have dragons, well, I mean, naturally, dragons are the superior race, right? So, ergo, a world that has no dragons would have no competition for Deathwing. So he figured he would be able to be the apex predator, basically. So he brought himself, his personal lieutenant, Baron Sablemane, and several other black dragons with him, along with a huge clutch of black dragon eggs that were brought here to Outland, or excuse me, to Draenor. I'm going to continue the story in just a moment.
Speak, friend.
That's a quest to go to Shadowmoon, so never mind. What's the other quest we have? Apparently it's outside? Yeah, there it is. Not bad.
What can I help you with?
And that's also a go-to. So never mind. I was going to say, I didn't think I missed any quests. And I was right. Moving on. So Deathwing was like, ah, yes, this will be my new domain. I shall rule over everything in this wonderful place, and no one will be able to contest me. I will be unstoppable. So, funny fact, Gron do not like dragons and are completely unafraid of dragons. So, Gruul, the chief of all the Gron, technically a demigod, had no problem, basically, if you can picture him literally just reaching up and grabbing a dragon and then smashing it down on the spires, you kind of have an idea of what was happening here. Now, that's not the only situation. There's actually a little more complexity to this, because obviously Deathwing actually came here before this place was Outland, so most of these spires weren't actually here at the time. So what happened was Deathwing set himself up in this whole area and wanted to use this as an experimental way to try and build a new breed of dragons, which would eventually lead into the experiments that make it Chromatic Flight and the Twilight Flight. But all of this was forever ago, so that wasn't even a glimmer in anyone's eye yet. The Bladespire Ogres in particular, who were some of the most favored followers of the Gron, were tasked with hunting them down and causing them a great deal of pain and suffering and anguish. Deathwing ended up fleeing, abandoning all of his children, all the black dragons, and all of his eggs once Ner'zhul started ripping the world apart. Then Draenor exploded, and we were left with Outland, and at this point in time, Gruul said, no, I think I'm going to kill the crap out of every black dragon who's left here. So he went around, and with the help of his Bladespire slaves, the ogres, literally would pull them out of the sky using magic, at which point the Gron would grab them and literally impale them on the spires of the Blade's Edge Mountains. To get my timelines lined up properly now. I really want you to just picture what that was like. Just smash! So pretty much all of the black dragons were killed in this matter. I believe there's really only the one survivor. Yeah, or tear them apart. He was not picky. In some cases, he literally just ripped their heads off and hang their heads up by chains for all to see. Gruul really did not like the black dragons. There's one survivor. We'll interact with him later, so I'm going to save talking about him till then. And, of course, the eggs remained. We'll talk about them later, too. But that's why there's just black dragon corpses all over the place. In fact, if you pay attention, there's quite a few black dragon skulls and otherwise decor on quite a bit of the Blade's Edge Mountains, because they just massacred the crap out of them. Yeah, no kidding. Here is this great and powerful flying beast. Yeah. In fairness, it did secure Gruul's rule for like 20 years, I want to say. It pretty much ensured his domination over the ogres and most of this entire region for the entire interim period. In fact, the mere fact that there is almost no demonic influence in this area, there is some, but almost none relative to the other zones, kind of indicates how successful Gruul was in keeping his territory away from everything else. Well, these aren't babies, Deacon. At least I don't think he ever did that to babies. He might have. What the hell is this thing? I know what I'm looking for. I even saw it earlier on my alliance. Yeah, well, we'll get back to it, I suppose. Yeah, there's a lot of corpse-ridden zones. Wait until you see Ice Crown. So this is messed up. This is a troll. See him? Right there.
What you want?
I can't do a troll voice right now, so... T'Chall used to be pretty friendly, troll. Me come down here to teach the Blood Maul how to brew the beer. But once me do that, the Blood Maul bury T'Chall and leave him here to rot. And the worst part is they stole me hookah. So you want to help, T'Chall? You bring me hookah back. I think the ogres that stole it headed southwest. And while you're in there, bring me some brews, too.
Later.
Such a troll perspective. They buried me up to my head. How dare they? Go get my booze. We'll bring him a few kegs of beer. I'm sure he'll be fine. No, let's not. Let's just leave him in there. He'll be fine. Do I not need... Oh, I need Blade Spire, not Blood Maul. Well, we're bringing him multiple kegs, Deutsch. It is such a troll perspective, isn't it? Ah, screw it. Might as well die drunk. By the way, doing this zone without flying sucks. Because every time you have to go anywhere, you have to know where the paths are to go all the way up to the top, and then all the way back to the ravine, and then up to the top and up to the ravine. And that's ignoring the other areas where you have to actually navigate. This is true, Darker. The trolls tend to be pretty good about keeping going after they die. There we go. Yeah! Ah, damn it. Yes, the Apexis Ogrilla thing is in this zone. We'll be talking a little bit more about the Apexis. I've actually already talked about the Apexis back in Terrakar Forest. But I'll cover it again in brief when we go through the Ogrilla area. Because I have a theory about it. Yes, oh, yes, that's right. A game theory. Dun, dun, dun. Super dramaticness. Come on, I need like one thing of booze. That's all I need. One keg. Deutsch. Did you take the last keg? Nope, you didn't. It's right here. Okay, we're good. We're cool. Let's go see this poor troll gentleman about his situation.
Relax.
You got me hookah and me bruise? Ah, yes, that what T'Chall was talking about. Though, me not sure what those ogres put in there. That's not T'Chall's brand of tobacco me smell and me hookah. And no matter, T'Chall is happy. Happy enough, in fact, to ask you to do something else. Oh, hang on. Ding.
Okie dokie.
Gotta take a ding with the troll visible right here. There we go. Anyways,
Hello, man.
as T'Chall was saying, he helped out his Bloodmaw friends to make that brew. But what T'Chall did not say was why. The Bloodmaw are in dire straits. The Blade Spire be crushing them, and they be needing new weapons to help win their fight. That's when T'Chall came up with a great idea. Why not make the perfect brew? One that strengthens you and weakens your enemy. Only thing is, T'Chall does not know if it works. So you gotta take this brew up to Bladespire Horde and see if it works.
Be seeing ya.
Favorite summoning system in a Final Fantasy? No kidding, Leander. So, to my knowledge, there's only really two methods of summoning in Final Fantasy. There's FF12, and there's every other FF. So that doesn't give me many options to go with. I mean, gameplay balance-wise, the whole point of a summon has been AoE damage that doesn't spread, at the cost of more expense, at the cost of not being able to be reflected. So, versus having a pet that you control for a bit. Of those two, I'd probably go ahead and take the other version. Oh, right. Let's get some ogres drunk. Okay. Favorite version of the Borg? The one in my head, Night Forager. Although if you mean I have to pick from the movies and games and or books and whatnot, or shows, wow. I'm tempted by the First Contact Borg at that point. Yes, drink deep of the brew. I love the idea, by the way, that you could just plop a giant mug of booze on the ground. And the ogres are just like, that smells like booze. Stomp. And they immediately drop what they're doing to go drink it. That really says something. Of course, one thing I actually like, and I know this is going to sound weird, but culturally speaking, the ogres actually have very, very strong booze, and in fact a decent amount of booze brew culture. Kind of similar to both the dwarves and the orcs. I've actually already mentioned the Zandalari in brief. We'll be mentioning them several times, Darker. Of course we'll be talking about them in Pandaria because they're super relevant. You're funny. Okay. Because they are super duper relevant in Pandaria. But I also kind of want to talk about them in a lot of Cataclysm when the Zandalari first started their return to power. Oh yes, and then the Pandaren have a culture about brew, too. Oh, that's true. Then there was FF10, where it replaces your party. I forgot about that. And FF13, where I never used it, so I don't know what they do in FF13. I'll take your word on it. So that would be 3 versions of summons. I would still take the classic version, aka the version where they are basically a unique form of spellcasting. Although FF10's method was pretty cool, mainly because of the fact that you could do the customization of your summons, which I liked. Favorite zone in all of WoW? Like in all of WoW? God, I don't know. There's so many good ones. Let me think about that. God, that's a tough one. I'm probably going to have to go ahead and go with the Ice Crown. That's really a tough one, though. There's so many amazing zones in WoW. Ooh, look. Blood Maw Brew. Glug, glug, glug. Top 3 summons from all of Final Fantasy. You know, considering we already are one step there, Darch Monster, with Brewfest, I mean, seriously. We don't need... guys, that's it. We don't need League of Legends to resolve all of our conflicts and whatnot. We just need Brewfest, like non-stop brewing competitions. It'll be great. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go with FF9's Bahamut. Leviathan, any of them really. He doesn't vary that much. And Alexander from 6, I think. Favorite leveling zone? Oh, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one. Because, for example, the Southern Barrens is awesome to go through if you're doing it on both the Horde and the Alliance, like we will be doing. I also really like several other Cataclysm New World zones, like what they do with Ashenvale and what they do with Stone Talon Peaks. Again, enjoyed best if you're doing both sides. Let me think about that. I think I'm going to have to go with a zone that's probably going to get me some flack. The Jade Forest. Jade Forest was amazing, in my opinion. It had a lot of really awesome mechanic stuff. It had it was a gorgeous place to look at. Great music, lots of lore, lots of story, lots of voice acting, lots of great cutscenes. Just, it hit all the points, you know what I mean? You know, the funny thing is, Hylisk, I actually have an answer for you. Remember that the ogres are not actually stupid. Or I should say, the ogres weren't actually stupid. Now, I don't have any solid proof of this, but based on the evidence, I believe that the old... oh, I didn't think of Vashir. I take it back. Vashir is better than Jade Forest. Vashir is better than Jade Forest. I wasn't thinking of that as a leveling zone, which is funny. So the ogres used to be quite smart, relatively speaking. Only the really stupid ones were the exceptions, and they were pretty, you know, they were basically allocated to peon status. Most of the ogres, even the soldiers and warriors, were still intelligent and eloquent. It is my opinion that the shattering of Draenor into Outland is what caused the ogres to become stupid, basically. That it actually affected them. In such a way. Now, part of my evidence for this is probably the only real evidence... Whoa, I don't want to fight those guys. I just remember who those are. Part of my evidence for that, one of the things we know about the Apexis crystals is that they reinforce the way your brain works, Or if I could use a different word here to make my point more clear, they repair the way your brain works, so it functions properly. That's why the ogres who use the Apexis crystals up at Ogrilla are so much more intelligent than other ogres. Because they are back to the way they should be. So that's the only evidence I have. Again, it's kind of flimsy. It's not as extensive. But it's my opinion that the ogres, the detriment that hit the ogres and the Goron was the fact that they were made, quite literally, stupid by the massive amount of magical outlash and fell energy that waved over the entire continent when they when Draenor shattered. So, question for you guys: which zone that I'm going through, because I'm going through all of them, are you most looking forward to me playing for the Lorerun? Because I can tell you what my favorite one is I'm most looking forward to, but I'm curious about your guys' thoughts. Alright, let's go ahead and head up here. Storm Peaks. Lots of lore in the Storm Peaks. Lots of lore in the Storm Peaks. We've already done Molten Core Deutsch. Get out of here. Out the window. Ice Crown. Yeah, there's another place with a lot of story. And of course, then there's Vashir. I'm looking forward a lot to Vashir. I love going through that zone. Ah, there he is. Excellent. Die for the Horde. More cybernetic, less zombie, basically, Night Forager. Sorry, I know you asked that earlier, and I kind of spaced it because I was in the middle of talking. I apologize. Deep Home, that's another very fascinating place with a lot of stuff to talk about. And another person looking forward to Storm Peaks.
Who you be?
Tell T'Chall, did the brew work? Did the Blade Spire ogres like it? Oh, that's good news. The brew's gonna come in handy with what he asks you to do next. T'Chall been waiting for his revenge. The day they buried T'Chall and leave him to die, it was Grimnock Battleborn that led them. And the next day it was Korgash that comes south to raid and kick T'Chall in the head. I want him dead. You'll find Grimnock atop the South Mall Tower. You'll find Korga in the top of a building at the north end. He has sober defenders, so use the brew to distract them. Because they won't drink.
See ya later.
They are crying. Let me check my notes really quick. Let's see. Looks like we'll be doing Vashir on the Horde. And Hyjal on the Alliance. And since we're doing Oldham on the Alliance, that means we're probably doing Deep Home. Yep. It'll be right here. We're doing, yep, right there. Deep Home on the Horde. So that's how we're splitting that up. Ah. Hey, maybe it's really comfortable, Leander. We don't know. Unless he's got an itch on his nose, that would be terrible. The closest class we play to Witch Doctor is probably the Shaman, I would say. Ah. Try that again. Now we wait. Ah, yes, the waiting game. Soon. Soon we will kill all the Horde and the Alliance, and establish the new order of the Forsaken. Did you think we had forgotten? Did you think we had forgiven? Now all will know the terrible vengeance of the Forsaken. Death to the Scourge and to the living! I shouldn't do that. That's hurting my throat. God damn it. Oh, there he is. The moment I give up. Soon all will know. This is the hour of the Forsaken. Except, of course, it was actually the hour of Veramothras, because he was the one actually pulling the strings there. You know what I find funny? After all the garbage that Veramothras and Putris put the Undercity through, they moved back in afterwards. I don't know about you guys, but I would not want to move back into that city. Whatever. I don't understand your question, King Bubble. Where's the booze? There it is. Okay, hang on. Ah, screw it. I got this fight. Oh god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. But it's okay, because I'm gonna kill this guy in the process. Oh god, kids, don't do this at home. Don't do this at home. Okay. We're done with that. Ah, got you. Yes and no, King Bubble, is probably the best way to answer that question. But was she consenting to its usage against the Horde and the Alliance? The answer would be no. She is not quite that stupid. She has her issues, but she's not that bad. Now, I will be right back, because I think I just heard someone at the door. And I believe it's a package. I'll be right back. Good news, everyone. It was a package at the door. I had to practically run to go get the guy. Like, wait! So I suppose I should say it wasn't a package at the door. So here's an interesting question for you guys. How many of you have never played the Battle for the Undercity? Obviously, I cannot raise my hand on this one because I have played the Battle for the Undercity. In fact, I think the Battle for the Undercity is frickin' amazing. I mentioned this because it never really occurred to me that there's probably a decent group of people, like Hylisk just mentioned, who never actually got to play it. Oh, we absolutely need the Battle for the Undersea to be a scenario. It's ripe for scenario. It would fit so well. The reason I bring this up, one of the things you tend to hear WoW players gush about is, oh my god, we absolutely loved the Wrathgate. Well, the Wrathgate was okay. And I mean, it was the first in-game rendered cinematic that they ever did ever. So it was kind of a new thing that would later become the norm. But what really struck out for me, or really struck me about it, was the Battle for the Undercity, which was freaking awesome. I loved the Battle for the Undercity. It was fun. It had lots of lore. It had the final conflict with everything. It was great. It was wonderful. I loved it. That, and it was finally the culmination of a plot thread that had been existing since Frozen Throne. And I love it when story arcs finally reach a satisfying conclusion, and I felt like Veramothras' story arc had a rather satisfying conclusion, personally. No, we need replicators, Deutsch, let's be honest. Let's see, I need a raptor. There's one. And yeah, I'm going to talk about... So I already talked about the BC launch event before we walked into BC. Before we walk into Wrath, I will be talking about the Scourge Invasion, also known as the greatest freaking event in the history of the game. You probably think I'm exaggerating. You don't understand. It was so awesome. And all I can think to mention about this is that people are terrible. You probably think I'm being facetious about that people are terrible thing. To give you an idea what I mean by this. So, the Scourge Invasion event, which I will talk about more in detail later, was awesome. It was so freaking awesome. It was awesome in lore. It was awesome in gameplay. And then there were whiners who would not shut up about how much they hated that event. And that is literally why they have never continued an event like that. Why they have never tried to do that kind of a thing again. The developers have flat out come out and said, nope, we're never doing it again because we got a lot of complaints from players about it. And I just want to strangle those players. God damn it, that was such an amazing event. But we'll talk about that more but before we get to Wrath. Like the part of me that wants to be understanding and tolerant and kind, I get what they were whining about. I do, actually. I get what they were complaining about, because the event that was the launch event leading into Wrath was interfering with their ability to quest normally. That is true. But god damn it was so awesome! Why? Just have fun with it, damn it. Whatever. Anyways, moving on.
Hey there.
T'Chall is pleased that Korgash and Grimnock are pushing up daisies just like him. But T'Chall's thirst for revenge is not quenched. There's one more thing you must be doing. T'Chall wants revenge on all the ogres. T'Chall was a powerful witch doctor in life. If you reach into me grave, you'll find a wicked strong fetish. Invoke the fetish's magic at the entrances of the buildings and towers of both the hold and the outpost. The voodoo you work will summon an evil spirit you must defeat. This in turn will curse the building.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, by the way, this guy is dead, if you didn't actually pick up on that. He's buried because he's dead. Yeah, funnily enough, Hylisk, since they invented phasing for Wrath, they could have actually done that. They could have had a phased version of the world for the invasion event, and then the phased version of the world where there's no invasion, and that way everyone would be happy. Especially now that they've completely mastered phasing and can use it to great effect. So yeah, we're helping a dead troll curse an entire tribe, 2 entire tribes of ogres, because 2 of their number pissed him off and killed him. The lesson to be taken away from this: do not piss off trolls, especially strong trolls. Yeah. Why don't the ogres wear more clothes? Why would they? Although, in fairness, there are plenty of ogres that wear more clothes. It's just those clothes are actually armor. Hopefully, as I say, it looks like my timing is enough that I'm not actually interfering with another person's quest, which is great. Hey, Dreadfuse. Oh god, tell me about it, Darker. I do not want to know what Zool does to people. Alright, Samurai, it's your eternal damnation. I mean, you think this is bad. You think what this troll is doing is bad. You'll see what the trolls can do later on that gets really into bad territory. Well, Night Forager just got him and his entire family cursed for the rest of their lives. Oh well. Yeah, that is true, Hylisk. Death is such a normal, casual thing to trolls, especially strong trolls. When we beat Garajamal, or however the hell you're supposed to say his name, his response is literally just, ugh, really? You killed me? Alright, whatever. I'll be seeing you later. Of course, Darsh Monster. Clearly, the Forsaken are the good race. I suppose the Naru are the closest things we have to a truly good race. Okay, that's true, Pyro. Any race could become a demon hunter, Little Billy. It's not the elvish part that matters. The part that matters is being trained by Illidan. And only 2 groups of people have ever been trained by Illidan. And that would be a group of Blood Elves and a group of Night Elves. So, that's the limitation, not species. No kidding, King Bubble. Ah, cooldown quest items! I love you, BC, but damn it. Why you gotta piss me off so much? Okay. By the way, I do like the sight of the atmosphere literally burning off into the nether there. It adds to the atmosphere of this place so much. I only know a little bit about the biology of trolls. It boils down to the fact that they are regenerative, but not at the level that you could think otherwise. What, Rokamp? Oh, the orphanage in Nagrand. Other than what I've already shared, no, I don't think there's any additional lore there. Okay, so whether or not we'll get any demon hunters for other races, I think, depends solely on what Illidan's disposition is in Legion. Keep in mind, and no spoilers please, but keep in mind we don't actually know who or what Illidan's going to do or be once he gets up. He could be our enemy, he could be working with the Legion, he could be working with us. He could go any way at this point. He's certainly been crapped on by literally everyone at this point in time. So,
How you doing, man?
yes, trolls can regenerate limbs. They do have blood and other, normal fleshy biological aspects to them. They also tend to... I guess that's really it biologically, because most of the rest of them, their strength and power comes from their knowledge and culture, so... So, we've got his revenge. Da-ha-ha, revenge is sweet. But T'Chall can see you be interested in moving on now that you help him get his revenge. I hear you, man. Life is for the living. Tell you what, T'Chall got lots of goodies still left in his grave. You pick the one you like best.
Be seeing ya.
Enjoy your death, T'Chall. How about a Murloc Demon Hunter? I think that would be awesome. Alright, controversial opinion time. I don't think races... In gameplay, I don't think classes should be race restricted. No, he's quite dead. That would be a Type 2 undead, for reference.
What do you
Also known
mean?
as natural undead. Although trolls kind of blend the lines, because trolls kind of have no problems keeping going after they're dead. So... yeah. What's that you hear? Strong limb, deep roots trunk. Did you chop him down by yourself? I bet you did. You know, Rexar and I are looking for a strong, young paladin such as yourself to help out around here, especially the problems we continually have with the ogres. Make sure you follow up with me on that possibility. And I will take those.
Go with honor.
This is a good first step towards securing our position here against the ogres. With their numbers decimated, the Bladespire will think twice about attempting to retake Thunderlord's stronghold. Now, if only they were the only clans of ogres we had to worry about. To the south of the Bladespire clan lies yet another threat, Bloodmaul Outpost. While the Bloodmaul ogres are not the strongest clan in the mountains, not having the favor of the Grawn known as Gruul, the dragon killer, they run a close second. Now that we've dealt with winnowing the Bladespire, it's time to turn our eye upon their rivals. Kill all of them. Oh, okay.
McGraw.
No, only if they will it, Wraith. They have to specifically choose that. The Alliance has recently moved in to the west, using their elven magics to grow a town and grove. We must keep their defenses weak, so they do not also grow a spine. I have a plan that will do that and more. I want you to traverse the bridge and attack their Fey Drake defenses in the Living Grove, and bring back the dust that can be found on their wings.
Strength.
Yeah, right.
Glory to the Horde.
I do not believe my eyes. If this is some kind of trick, I will flay your flesh from your bones. Let me see those artifacts before you injure them with your clumsy hands, yeah, think. Blood elf fool, you almost destroyed the drum! I've worked too hard to get here, and my hands have been empty until now. At least you were able to succeed where others met only failure. It is time to evoke a vision that will lead you to the last relic I have been seeking. Take this fiery fragment of my soul. Use it to transform your body into flame, and your spirit into a vision guide that will shoot forth and reveal the location of the final Thunderlord relic. Man, you're welcome, lady.
Go with honor.
Whatever. Looks like we got that transmog, or the transform bug again. I guess for me, the reason that I think that they should limit the class things is because it's my perspective as a GM. Like, if I'm GMing a game, and someone says, I want to play a insert race here, insert class here, and it's an unusual combination, I'll say, well, can you give me a lore explanation for that? And they do, and I say, okay. You know, I'm the GM who says exceptions exist. You know what I mean? And so it's from my perspective that if you really want to play a Tauren rogue, all you have to do is come up with some kind of reason for it, and there you go. You shouldn't be restricted artificially from it. But that is just my perspective, of course. The other alternative is to go all the way back the way things used to be, with the races being severely limited in what classes could be what races. So, for example, again, if you wanted to be a shaman, you were either you were a Tauren or an orc, and that was it. If you wanted to be a paladin, you were a human or a dwarf, and that was it. If you wanted to be a druid, you were a Tauren or a night elf, and that's it. You know what I mean? So those are the two extremes, and I get the point of both, I just prefer the former. Nowadays, of course, they've stretched that out a little bit. For example, Worgen can be druids now, and so can trolls. Hell, they even bothered to have a lore explanation for when the Night Elf mages came back. And anyone remember when we couldn't make Blood Elf warriors? Which was just a little silly.
Loktar!
Did you see it? Tell me, I must know where it is. Ah, the back of the Dranethist mine. Ha! It's too far away, too deep. But you know the path. You will go there in my stead. If the vision that I've granted you is true, there you must travel. Journey to the back of the mine and retrieve the Thunderspine. Ignore everything else. I have no interest in the crystals or the ogres. And as soon as you have the spear, give it back to me, and be very careful with it. I would hate to think what would happen to you should you break it. Man, this lady is just wonderful, isn't she? And yeah, I would love to... I would actually probably make a undead paladin, in all honesty. Absolutely. And there are a few other class race combos I would probably actually be interested in. But again, I get the opposite perspective. Just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean I don't comprehend it. In fairness, human warlocks aren't exactly well-renowned or loved either, Psychotic. In fact, they still have to hide in lore the fact that they are warlocks. Well, as has been pointed out, there is such a thing as Tauren rogues in lore, thanks to the Twilight's Hammer. I didn't know about the Hearthstone thing. Apparently there's a Hearthstone card, which also involves a Tauren rogue. I wouldn't count that as lore, but we've already got a lore example, so we're good on that. It makes perfect sense to me, Vinizea, because the idea here is that there's been a sect of Night Elves who have always been practicing magic, who never gave up practicing magic over all these years. They've just been hiding it this whole time. You know, hiding in corners, quietly, secretly practicing their own art without getting caught, which I like that idea. I also like that idea because it kind of really brings forward the idea of how desperate the Night Elves were when the Cataclysm happened. And the Night Elf mages came out and said, like, okay, you need us for the coming events. And the Night Elves actually were able to accept them back into part of their race, openly casting magic. Also, and I really hate to pull technicalities here, but rogues are not solely defined by their stealthing abilities. There is a specific brand of skill that rogues have. The dexterity-based melee class, basically. Sure, little Billy, hang on. There we go. Bzz. That looks like a blood elf to me. Tauren pirates do exist. Actually, it could be arguable that several of the Tauren individuals who we've seen in the game as bosses or NPCs are actually rogues as well. Again, I'm not trying to change anyone's mind on the matter. I'm just trying to make my point clear. I think a very strong argument could be made for unrestraining the classes based on race. Just my take on it. Yes, there was a Tauren Defiance member, and of course there's the one in Booty Bay, the pirate. I really doubt we'll be able to play transgenders. I mean, how would you represent them visually? You just pick an actual physical appearance and then play that? Or they actually add a third appearance for every race? Both are unlikely. Draenei Warlocks, I admit, make me kind of tilt my head a little bit. But at the same time, in gameplay, or in lore, you have to remember, we're actually willing to tolerate warlocks of other races. Now, the Draenei may not be able to tolerate their own warlocks, and logically speaking. And yet the Draenei work along other warlocks from other races. Again, in lore. So, the reality of having Draenei warlocks, who the Draenei themselves just tolerate, is understandable, in my opinion. No, we won't get to that until we go to Black Temple Roaring. Kevin, we are currently in the Blade's Edge Mountains. Obviously, I suppose. We're doing it in order. How can you get lost? Good night, Myron. Stuffy. I am still sick, Roaring. I have not yet fully recovered. But yeah, the spikes admittedly kind of give it away. Alright. Let's go attack the Alliance. Death to the Alliance! What? Favorite style of questing and story presentation? Pandaria would probably be my absolute favorite. Which, again, you know, I get a lot of flack for, but it's true. I really, really loved the quest design and actual gameplay of the quests in Pandaria. I loved replaying through that expansion. Probably my favorite example of Pandaria quest design is when you go through you go through pretty much all the Jade Forest, which leads neatly into the Valley of the Four Winds. Complete the Valley of the Four Winds, complete the next zone, whose name I can't remember, the Krasarang Wilds, and then all of that leads into one massive quest, which kind of caps off the first 3 zones. It was awesome, and I loved it. Damn it. The paid aspects of WoW? Well, obviously, you pay for a subscription. You can pay for mounts. You can pay for pets. You can pay for gold. And I think that's it. You can also pay for stupid, or I shouldn't say stupid things, but things I would not pay for. For example, you could pay for server transfers or character renames and stuff like that. So, fun fact, people have been wanting mounted combat for forever. In fact, when Northrend came out, we actually thought they were adding mounted combat. What they were actually adding was the vehicle system, which technically does qualify as mounted combat, but wasn't quite what we meant. So I'm still in favor of the idea. It might actually be something that, at this point, you need to actually use vehicle systems in order to make it happen. Oh yes, there's also level boosts. Sorry, I forgot those even existed. Single favorite quest line in the entire game? Oh god, I don't know. I'm just gonna go ahead and default to the quest where you meet the real Arthas in Icecrown.
Blood and thunder.
Your actions against both the Bladespire and the Bloodmaw Ogre clans have gone a long way towards securing Thunderlord Stronghold's future. We will not suffer those that would get in our way of our destiny here. As you have done good work, I intend to reward you with the appreciation of the Horde.
Go with honor.
What do you need?
The significance of these... I gotta try and, like, come up with a prissy voice. The significance of these artifacts eludes you, I'm sure. When we have all 5, our right to the ownership of the Thunderlord Stronghold will be secured through the appeasement of its dead spirits. Do you even grasp now why this is so important? Do you understand why I have no patience for your niceties? Now I am impressed. Do you have any idea how many others have died attempting to secure these relics? We are fortunate to have you with us, even if you are a bit slow. You must allow me to reward you. Choose, but choose wisely. When you are done, I will hand over the artifacts to appease the ghosts of Thunderlord Stronghold.
Go forth to victory.
Valvaxis, you above all have earned the right for the Horde to inhabit our ancestral home. By recovering the artifacts of our clan, by taking up the fight against our ancient enemy, the Bladespire, and their Grand Masters, and by returning the Thunderspike to my hand, you have secured the blessing of the Thunderlord clan. I have been watching you and Rexar. You must aid him to secure the future of the Horde in these mountains. Only when you have forced the ogres into submission and slain their master, Gruul the Dragon Killer, will your people be safe. You honor our memory. Valvaxis, now that you see me, there's something you must tell Rexar. I know that he seeks his people, and I know where they are. The Mok'Nathal, as they are known, have a village to the east beyond the Razor Ridge. Go. Give Rexar this news. His people are in danger, and I know he will want to come to their aid. Hang on. I gotta spit on her really quick. Spit. There we go. Moving on. Oh god, psychotic. That sounds terrible. Although, one of the most frustrating ones for me was Malygos. For some reason, no one could figure out how to properly do the Malygos fight. It's just weird. Well, true, Darch Monster, but also Gruul is probably going to send his ogres after them, too. So that's another bit of an interesting situation.
What do you need?
It would seem that the Alliance is determined to follow us wherever we go. Let us teach them we are not intimidated by their presence. Do you have that which I requested? Not only have you weakened their defenses, but we're going to put this dust to good use in bolstering our own defenses. Yeah, I know, right, Nicholas? With the magical dust you recovered, I have fashioned a magical ointment that will aid our defenses. Our dire wolves are the perfect combination of mount, sentry, and friend. But the Alliance scum have been poaching them in the Jagged Ridge. I sure hope no Worgen Death Knights have been killing them lately. Valvaxis, I want you to take this ointment and apply it to our direwolf friends. The Alliance will get a rude surprise the next time they send one of their hunting parties.
May your blades never dull.
That's a good question, Hylisk. See, I've actually been debating that for a while. After some thought, I've decided I'm going to go ahead and assume, lore-wise, that the raids happen when they would happen relatively gameplay-wise. In other words, we have not yet done Serpent Shrine Caverns, in lore. We have not yet done Magtheridon's Lair, in lore. And so forth and so on, basically. So, my presumption is that we will go back once we have basically mastered Outland and can deal with some of the stuff that needs to be cleaned up. Like Magtheridon, like Gruul, etc. Also, with response to the Caligos thing, someone said, it's okay, he got to shack up with Jaina. To which I just say, yep, poor Caligos. Anyways.
Sug.
What is this you speak of? Garm Wolfbrother? He was the last chieftain of the Thunderlord clan. If you have communed with his spirit, it must be true. I was chasing rumors of the Mok'Nathal across Outland with nothing to show for it. Finally, we may have found their home. But now the moment is here. I'm filled with unease. Unease that has kept me awake deep into the nights during my search. Will they accept me? I know their leader's name, Leorox. Seek him out. You must be my eyes on this.
For the Horde.
So I suppose we'll go ahead and discuss Rexar a little bit. Believe it or not, there's really not a lot of lore behind Rexar's backstory. The basis of it boils down to the fact that Rexar is a Mok'Nathal, also known as a half-ogre and a half-orc. Hang on. That means he, hang on just a second. Yeah, there we go. Oh, fine, I'll kill you then. God, if you're so eager to die. Anyways, So, yeah, Rexar is actually, again, pretty unnaturally tall. In fairness, a lot of characters in this setting are a little bit larger than they should be, but Rexar is an exception. He actually is that big. This quest amuses me, by the way. Empower the wolves and then kill them if they aggro you. Anyways. Rexar basically had a disagreement, I think is the nicest way I could put that, with his family, the rest of the Nocnathal. And he left. He wanted to roam the wilds of Draenor. He actually came through the Dark Portal quite some time ago. We don't know the exact point in time he did, but it was definitely before the Third War, which I guess is kind of a facetious thing to say, but the time that makes most sense for me, for him to have come through, is during the First War, when the Dark Portal was basically just wide open and the doors were just banging in the wind. You know, anyone could go back and forth through the Dark Portal at will during the First War. And actually, we've had that reunion, Nero's As. I can't show you it because it's content that doesn't exist anymore. So, the whoop. So Rexar came through mainly because he was absolutely disgusted with Gul'dan and with the demonic horde in general. He was sick of it, and he got to the point where he was sick of all civilized life, basically, and swore off of all of it. This is why in Warcraft 3, when we first meet him, he is just off roaming the wilds, refusing to have anything to do with any of the people, even though he's been in exile for, at that point, close to 20 years. He's not sick of it. He's just, yes. It wasn't until Thrall, specifically, got a hold of him, and he met the orcs of Thrall's Horde, aka the True Horde, that he finally decided to start interacting with people again.
Thrall Hall.
And yes, I've played Breath of Fire 2 and 3. Now that you have strengthened the wolves and the Jagged Ridge's defenses, perhaps we can refocus our attention on more deadly matters, such as the ogres. You've done a good job in aiding us. We could use the help of someone capable such as yourself, should you decide to stay. Whatever you do, you have earned my respect and appreciation.
For the Horde.
Anything I could come up with for how he managed that would just be me making up something without information. In other words, I have no idea, Schmeidolf. I do not know how he managed to get to Kalimdor. Probably not psychotic, no. Well, okay. Damn it, Darker. Now, that is a good point. Caligos did have a relationship with the Sunwell. With the Sunwell. So, I mean, it's not that out of bounds. Yeah, Anduin apparently does have tremendous potential in the light. That hasn't actually really been explained as much as I would like, but it has been something that's been mentioned a few times. I personally think that the main reason Anduin is so damn skilled is because of the fact that he's so damn skilled. You know what I mean? So there's the Nether Storm over there. Give you a little sneak peek. He swam from the blasted lands. You know what? I would be this close to believing that. Considering what Rexar is, it's way more likely he tamed like a sea creature of some kind and rode it across. So, unfortunately, they didn't give these guys new models, but they did at least make all of these guys pretty big. This is actually, like, simultaneously a good thing and a bad thing. Again, because they didn't give them models, it's like, eh? But at least they did make it clear that all of these orcs are way too big to be normal orcs. Pretty much all of the orcs here, in fact I think literally all of the orcs here, are Mok'Nathal. Again, half orcs, half ogres.
Loktar.
What brings you to our village? Ah, so you come from the world beyond the portal, and you know of Rexar. Oh yes, I am quite familiar with him. You see, he is my son. But he made his choice a lifetime ago. He is not one of us, and he is not welcome here. We have enough troubles with the Blood Maul ogres. Know this. Being born a half-breed does not make you a Mok'Nathal.
Dabu.
Well, that guy was, helpful. Friendly folk, huh? At this point, Little Billy? That's Varian is probably our most likely guess on that. We don't really have a strong tank type. We haven't for a while. There was some rumors for a while that they were going to turn Mok'Nathal into a playable, but I'm pretty sure those were always just rumors. There's very little evidence to indicate it, and it's kind of a weak race to add as a new playable. I mean, that hasn't stopped them before, but still. Yeah, Varian doesn't actually use a shield, but he's secretly a Death Knight, so it's okay. Now, I'm totally okay with Mok'Nathal being a sub-race. I'm one of those people who's fully in favor of the idea of the sub-race concept.
Strength and honor.
So my father does live. I did not expect him to forgive. That was never his way. But I had hoped that the years had dulled his anger he must have felt at my departure. 30 years ago, I left the Mok'Nathal to follow the Horde to Azeroth. Leorox was staunchly against it, but then he never gave me any reason to stay. Still, I had hoped for a better welcome than this. He wanted a Mok'Nathal for a son, and he has one now, even if he will not know it. I must open his eyes. If the Mok'Nathal are tormented by the Blood Maul, then I will stop them and their followers. Ogres are simple creatures, and there is little profit they could gain from harassing the Mok'Nathal. There must be something more to this. Take Spirit, my hawk, and spy upon the conversation of the Blood Maul's leaders. He may go undetected where we cannot.
Strength.
Yeah. I'm telling you guys, Army of Light. That's what we really need in WoW. I'm going to be so happy if that ever turns out to be true. Most of my predictions about WoW have not been true. The occasional one has been true. Every once in a while. Little Billy, have you ever played Rift? It's an MMO. I ask because mages can tank in Rift. It's really not that hard when you think about it. It's mostly about being able to absorb damage and use your ranged abilities to pull aggro quickly and easily. Just off the top of my head, one of the ones that I predicted that turned out to be true was the fact that we got Transmog as a system. Another one was the inclusion of Death Knights. That's not a big one, but shrug. I need to actually... I like how they didn't notice the giant obvious bird there. I agree, Titans. And we should call it the Edwardians. I'd just like to say I love the appearance of the black dragons who are impaled on the spikes. And the massive number of bones that are in the area. Look at all those. Oh god, that would be terrible, Hylisk. I don't know, though.
Loktar.
What have you learned? Ah, so it is the Sons of Gruul that are behind the ogre's actions. They command the Blood Maw to destroy the Moknathal to gain their favor. Here is my plan. We will poison the ogres and then destroy their Grand Master. During my travels in these mountains, I met a man named Baron Sablemane. He sounds like a nice guy. He is a master of the alchemical arts and may be convinced to assist us. You will find him at the Circle of Blood down in the canyon to the north of here. Whatever price he requires, I will leave it at your discretion to accept.
Go forth to victory.
Also, considering that Rexar has a unique voice, I kind of wish it was played there, but whatever. Yeah, no kidding, little Billy. For those of you not aware, Black Dragon's old aspect, I guess, the thing that Black Dragons were was of earth. You know, like how red was life and bronze was time. Nero says that is all extremely unlikely in gameplay, but would make total sense in lore. No, it's okay. This is the best apothecary ever. Baron Sablemane. Hello, Blood Elf. I am Baron Sablemane. A friend of Rexar's is a friend of mine. So you or Rexar would have me fashion a poison for him. I'll give him what he desires, but there must be a price. Even for friends, there must be a price. Free things destroy friendships. First, you must venture a short distance to the southwest. Therein mill some of the most poisonous creatures in all of Outland, or anywhere. I speak of crust bursters, and this poison will require gathering their glands for me. I really hope we see more of Mr. Sablemane in the future, by the way. I would be very sad if we don't. You guys don't like my apothecary voice? But then how will we get Burger King, random heroes? Alright, I will go ahead and talk about Master Sablemane now. Mr. Sablemane, well, let's just say that he's an extremely well-positioned individual. It takes a rare individual for someone like Deathwing to be able to look at you and say that you're his number 2 person. Keeping in mind that that would technically make Baron Sablemane higher in rank than Nefarian. So, for those of you not fully aware, Baron Sablemane is in fact a black dragon. Basically one of the only black dragons left. Now, there's a theory that's been going around for a while now. You see, nether dragons, are a unique mutation of black dragons. Now, that is significant because all black dragons, when they are born, contain the taint of the old gods. That's one of the reasons why black dragons have been universally evil for so long. And yet there's 2 interesting catches to that. Both of them are on Outland. The first is the fact that Baron Sablemane is surprisingly personable and actually a relatively okay person for being a black dragon. No worse than, say, Raytheon, for example. Second is the fact that none of the nether drakes who are out here also have that same old god corruption within them. So as you might imagine, I have a theory about this. My theory is that being on Outland, so separated for long periods of time, we're talking like 20 years here, don't forget, so separated for long periods of time from the old gods and their influences, that eventually that taint that exists within them kind of goes away, or at the very least is diminished. It would also help to explain, again, why the Nether Drakes, and this is the most important part, are basically completely absent of that taint, despite being Deathwing's personal brood. Shut up, Deutsch. And again, it would partially help explain why Sablemane is a relatively decent person for a black dragon. He acts more like a black dragon does than a corrupted black dragon. I have no idea, Kevin. I actually kind of doubt they'll release another class in general. But yeah, exactly. Imagine if for the first time in years, you're suddenly absent of the whispers in the back of your mind. Which one, Titans? He had several. I have groupies? Where? You have all the venom glands? If not, be gone, and waste no more of my time until you do. Ah, very well. A simple, if mundane, task has been completed. Now hand me the glands, and I will do the difficult part. Here, take this to your master. I'm sure that whatever the reason, Rexar will put it to good use. Oh, and do be certain to remind him that he owes me. He knows what I want, and I'm certain that however he intends to obtain it for me, I'll be seeing you again sooner than you think. Now be a good girl and run up to Rexar. Once again, this is another example of why I call this guy a fairly decent black dragon. All he actually wants is to get revenge against the Gron for murdering all of his people, because black dragon, right? So yeah, it's actually incredibly logical that he would want that. And of course, it's like the simplest of thing for him to ask that, especially since that's what you want too. Like, he's leading up to this, oh, I will ask for this incredibly horrible thing, and it's actually not, but you get my point.
What do you need?
I'm not genociding anything yet, Last Echo, although we did kill a lot of ogres earlier. I gotta be honest, basically everything about Blade Masters has been folded into Enhancement Shamans and Arms Warriors already. So I'm not sure Blade Masters are really a viable thing in WoW at this point.
Dabu.
At the very most, I would probably make them a new spec or something.
Blood and thunder.
This is unsavory business, but it will do what we want. The ogres, simple as they are, would notice you dispersing this poison throughout the camp. Therefore, I will teach you how to enlist the aid of nature's smallest creatures to do this task. By playing a simple rhythm on this drum, you can coax a marmot to follow your commands. There's a den of marmots near Bloodmaw Camp. Once you have the marmot's aid, use it to disperse the poison.
Strength.
Absolutely, Titans. Yes, 100%. No, really. What? You don't want bards? You don't want a dwarvish bard following around? Had a kilt of gold was always old and... So yeah, Rexar is an interesting example of a hunter. He is a hunter, but he is also probably the most druidic of the hunters. Now that's funny because, as I've said before, hunters are druids. It's just they practice it in a slightly different manner. But in every way that matters, a hunter is a druid. They're practicing druidic natural magic in addition to their skills. It's just kind of like a more martial druid, basically. So it makes sense to me that Rexar would be an exceptionally druidic hunter who just happens to be really in touch with the animals around him. There they are. Come to me, my marmot friends. Bonka, 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 bonka. This is just for you guys who care about cute things. Wee, wee. I've never been so free. Oh god, aggroed an ogre. Oh god, run. Run from the ogre. Run from the ogre. Oh god, don't kill me. Don't kill me. Oh god, I don't even know where I'm running. Okay, he's gone. uh. Sneak, 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 sneak. Sneak, 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 sneak. This is how they look when they're sneaking, by the way. Sneak, 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 sneak. For the record, I would probably pick Rune Master before Bard as far as a new class, but I've already talked about that. Sneak, 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 sneak. Excellent. I have poisoned everything. You know, one of the worst things in this game, at least in my experience as a hunter back in BC, is when you'd go through the whole game and you have a bow, and then you get a new upgrade, and it's a gun, and it's like, sell all my arrows, buy a bunch of bullets instead. I haven't looked at the specific artifacts yet, Permia, so I can't speak to them. Still not sure which hunter spec I'll do in Legion. A lot of options there, really. And by a lot, I mean 3. But my point is, all 3 of them sound equally appealing to me. So I'm like, I don't know. I could, of course, just default and keep being Beast.
Stronghold.
Is it done? For so many long years, I have concentrated my efforts on perfecting the ways of communicating with nature. This is but a small part of the untapped potential that beasts can bring to you. Valvaxis, I have a pet boar named Huffer. He wants you to help. He wants to help you have some fun with one of the nearby Sons of Gruul. Grulok inhabits a place known as the Cursed Hollow. When you get there, let Huffer loose. The Gron will have a fine time chasing him around, and you will retrieve a bag he guards and bring it to Baron Sablemane.
Go forth to victory.
I honestly feel really bad for this boar, because in my headcanon, Grulok actually manages to catch him. Oh, I have no idea, King Bubble. There's a lot of good options there. All of the above, does that count? Probably Death Knight, though, if I were to pick one. It's time to fight for something at long last. So this is a lesser Gron. He's not actually that big of a Gron. This is Grulok. He's about the size of Durn the Hungerer. The funny thing is we can totally kill him. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. I don't know why. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Oh, God. Oh, God. I wonder if this will work. Oh, God. Run away. Run away. Oh, God. Why? Oh, God. Now he's really huge. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Thank you, Huffer, for taunting him away from me. Oh, God. I remember that stupid gun. Run, Huffer. Run, Huffer. Run. Piggy, stop. So in lore, the Gron are pretty damn huge. Building size, at least. Pay no attention to this. This will be relevant later. Pay no attention to the swarms of ogres. Ogres. Well, if you think about it, Titans, a Death Knight would be very diplomatic. Alright, so we want 15th... we want to make sure that our... oh, I'm going the wrong way. Our 15th quarter is prosperous in our second thing, and the Death Knight just kind of stabs him with the rune blade and then raises him as an undead and says, "You will do everything I say." And there you go. Diplomacy has been made. Back so soon? Have you come to deliver that which Rexar owes me? Very well. You have upheld the end of your bargain. With the price paid, I will give Rexar what he seeks. There is no cause of fury greater in this world than that of Gruul and his sons. They slaughtered my people, my children, and now I will have revenge. I have fashioned a trap from dragonfire, and if you're clever enough, you can use it to kill even a Gron. Just hurry. Take the trap to Rexar. My thirst for revenge must be quenched. Exactly, Nicholas. Anakin had the right of it. I'm telling you, I really do think that being an Outland separate from the old gods has basically removed the actual corruption from them. They still might be bastards, or at the very least not good people, but I don't think they're actually literally have the blood of the old gods coursing through them anymore. Just my take on it, of course.
Strength and honor.
Did you recover whatever was in the sack for Sablemane? A trap fashioned from the essence of dragonfire. I wonder how Sablemane came by such a rarefied substance. It doesn't matter. What matters is we're going to use it to slay a son of Gruul. The Gron we seek is Gorgron, the Dragon Eater. With Sablemane's trap, you'll be able to make short work of the Gron. You'll find him accepting sacrifices from the Elders of Bouldermock.
Go with honor, Sug.
Torchunk leans in close to whisper. Valvaxis, you've done us more than proud in the fight against the ogres so far, and while I have every confidence that whatever Rexar has planned, I would still ask you crush the ogres at Bloodmaw Camp if we're returning. That way we'll be doubly certain of the outcome.
For the Horde.
I know that Rexar has plans for you. I have something I want you to do while you're there. We must take any chance we can to strike down the ogres of the mountains, or they will overrun us, and all that we have bled for and died for will be nothing. We certainly can't try diplomacy. That would be too stupid. Oh, sorry. I roll my eyebrows, or my eyes. I roll my eyebrows. I roll my eyes because it's actually funny, and we find out in the future that the ogres would be totally okay with diplomacy. They don't like being under the control of the Gron. So if we went to the ogres and said, work with us and we'll free you from the Gron, their response would probably be something along the lines of, hell yes, where do we sign? You know? But no, we just have to go kill them all. And I don't know what was in the bag. Well, that is actually it, Hylisk. It literally is similar to Fell Corruption, a.k.a. you are now evil, and often stupid evil, simply for having this taint within you. We also know that the taint spreads to others of the same blood. So, which is why each new black dragon that is born also has the taint in them, even if they've never been personally interacted with by the old gods. There are several ogres that do end up joining us through diplomacy, yes. Quite a few ogres, actually. All of the remaining ogres, actually. So, you know. It's not as out of bounds as you'd think. Although I imagine most of you are kind of with me on this. I don't think it really is that kind of out of bounds of a thing in general. Yeah, I don't like being smashed either. It really gives me a headache. Fortunately, it only lasts for like a very brief period of time, so that's nice. So here we are killing our future allies. This seems to be a trend for us. I always knew you were colorist, Permeus. I don't feel like fighting them. Probably a few years, Axcac. Maybe longer. Depends. Centuries, maybe. The good news is I just invented the longevity vaccine, so that'll be assisting in the process. Yeah, no kidding, Psychotic. But of course, that's always been true. Ogre Brew has always been the strongest of the various brews. Which makes sense if you think about it. If you've got their kind of body weight, their alcohol tolerance has to be through the roof. Exactly, Hylisk. Like, that's why I adhere to that particular theory. Now, it is worth, one other thing that's worth noting here is, as we've already established, we're pretty sure that there are, in fact, old gods of some form or another on Outland. At the very least, we're very sure that there's ones in Draenor. So, how then are they not influenced? Well, that's actually still easy to understand, because remember, the Black Dragons were specifically influenced by Unzoth. Not just by old gods in general, but by Unzoth in particular. And I remind you again that the old gods aren't actually friends with each other. They don't actually coordinate with each other all that much, other than the three. So, oh, God, that gives me a headache. Just for a few seconds, it's like, ugh. Anyway, so the point is that it's entirely likely that the old god or old gods that may or may not be here might not even know about that corruption and therefore not know how to use it. On my stream, yes, Max Smith. There's really only three things I do on my stream as far as streaming. Lore runs, explorations, and of course, speedrunning. My YouTube channel is a completely different thing. Probably not Psychotic. Considering we know for a fact that elemental power works differently on Draenor than it does in Azeroth, it would really surprise me if that wasn't true for other things as well. So that's a black dragon skull. Just felt like drawing your attention to it. As we can see, the Cenarian expedition is trying to expand into here. So we do know the expedition has a presence here other than the Alliance camp, which they basically established and then moved on from. I have a headcanon situation that I don't have a lot of proof for, but considering the Cenarian expedition's general hatred of politics, it wouldn't surprise me if they had started the terraforming of the grove that we saw earlier, and then the Alliance moved in and was like, excellent, yes, this will be a great launching point against the Horde. And the Cenarian expedition's like, you know what? You go ahead and run this place. We're going to move on and try to fix the rest of the planet. Favorite genre? Oh, I have no idea. I suppose RTSs, 4Xs, and RPGs would all be tied for my favorite genre. I like them all equally. I'm going the right way, right? Yeah, I am. Okay. Making sure. And of course, Deutsch is answering questions before I can even get there. I might as well just shut up now. Pretend I'm a LOL streamer. I actually saw a stream of someone playing Diablo 3 the other day, and it was so boring. Oh my god. It was just some guy kind of staring off into space, playing the game, and not talking. I was just, what, really? As you can see, of course, there are quite a few Arakoa around here. So we've got the Arakoa, we've got the Ogres and the Gron, and of course we've got our good friends, the Horde and the Alliance, who are at each other's throats. And a little bit of Burning Legion influence. Not a lot. Not a lot. A 4X game is like Master of Orion or Civilization or, I don't know, what's another good example? There are several examples I just gave. Galactic Civilizations, that's another good example. I don't know Axcac. I'm not trying to bash it or anything like that. I just didn't get any enjoyment from it. I have to admit, whenever I play D3, I usually have something else to watch while I'm doing it. No, Homeworld isn't a 4X. Homeworld is an RTS. Oh, one more. There we go. Perfect. That could be psychotic. That would also explain why they had to basically try to summon and wake up that one creature in Shadow Moon. There we go. So, one thing I like is they try to emphasize in lore that Gron are a big deal. Who dares defile the altar of Gorgrom the Dragon Eater? I will crush it and flay it and eat its meat and crack its bones one by one while I am done. And then he's dead. Now, I know you're probably looking at me weird because I just mentioned how... Oh, right. I was just talking about how Gron are a big deal and we just literally killed one in one shot. But my point is this entire series of quests and getting a specially made alchemical item which is consistent of dragon fire and laying it out with a trap alongside Misha in order to trap him and pull him into it. All of that was required just to take down one Gron. In lore, Gron are a pretty big deal and are some of the strongest individual creatures in the entire setting. It's another one of those, if they ever were able to properly unite, they would be a terrifying force. In actuality, if the Gron had... Oh, crap. Here's where the Legion is, by the way. If the Gron were actually capable enough of... yes, they actually have anti-era cannons in this game. If the Gron were actually capable enough... Or, I shouldn't say capable enough. If the Gron wanted to expand their influence beyond the Blade's Edge Mountains, they totally could. They would have no problem doing so. They have tons and tons of forces at their disposal. Several ogre tribes underneath their command. And a massive amount of resources to pull off of throughout the entire Blade's Edge. There we go. But of course the Gron are content to just sit here and laze around, which was their biggest flaw. I also can't pick between Elder Scrolls and Fallout. I can't do it. They're both amazing. And yeah, so that deserves to be mentioned as well. So Rexar has many animal companions, but his closest animal companion is Misha. He has cared about her for many, many years. She is a very old and very strong bearer. So the fact that he entrusted her to us is pretty significant.
What do you need?
You have continued to impress me, Valvaxis. Every one of those stinking ogres we kill, we come one close step. We come one step closer to ridding ourselves of an unworthy foe.
Go forth to victory.
Oh, up, ding. Let's get a ding right by Rexar, shall we? Where is it? There we go.
Blood and thunder.
The ogres of Bloodmaul and their master Gorgrim will trouble the Mok'Nathal no more. However, I worry about the effect our actions will have on the other Gron. I believe we must end this fight once and for all. So this isn't a completely unique axe model. I just feel like sharing it because it's pretty cool looking. There we go. Damn it, psychotic. Shortly after my arrival in the mountains, I came under attack by a group of Bladespire. Though I fought free of them and slew many, they took my wyvern, Leok, captive. Spirit has found him, locked in a cage in the heart of the Bladespire encampment outside of Gruul's lair. One of the ogres must carry his key. Find it, and Spirit can use it to unlock his cage.
For the Horde.
That's an interesting question, Mind Blast, but if you think about it, this has to be a brand new character. Remember, we started at 58. I created this character solely for the Lorerun. In fact, I created all 13, I think, characters of these characters solely for the Lorerun. So, I guess that answers your question. So we're actually nowhere near done with the Blade's Edge. We've still got this area to do, which is the actual Cenarian Expedition outpost after they abandoned the Alliance. And then, of course, we've got some Mok Nathal stuff to do. And while we're here, we'll go ahead and show off Ogrilla, since I have no intention to actually do it. And this is a good time to do that. And I think that's actually it for the Blade's Edge. I'm not sure of the number, Maximith, but the idea is one of each race. So, however many races there are, that's how many characters we have. So here's where the strongest of the Bladespire are. This place used to suck. These enemies used to be very strong. And I wouldn't say require a group, but me and my friends used to group whenever we were going through this particular section. And there's competition, because of course, that's Gruul's lair right there, by the way. I gotta admit, I sometimes wonder how Gruul gets in there. Oh, absolutely not, Kevin. There's no way. I won't even finish Blade's Edge today. But the odds are extremely high we'll be doing the next zone tomorrow. Which reminds me, let's start a poll here. So, we could take our Horde, the Blood Elf Paladin, to Netherstorm or to Shadowmoon. It doesn't matter. We're doing one on the Horde and we're doing one on the Alliance for between Shadowmoon and Netherstorm. And the difference between the two is insignificant. It doesn't matter. So, which zone do you think specifically our Horde should go to? That'd be our current character, the Blood Elf Paladin. So, Netherstorm or Shadowmoon. There you go. Take your pick. Our Horde is the character we're on right now, for reference. Again. Well, I could always stop doing Alliance quests. I mean, that is an option. It's not like anybody likes the Alliance anyways, right? You know what I love about this game? And by love, I mean hate. Rare drop rates on quest items. No, Hylisk, I'm going to do that on one of my hundreds. I've already looked into that. I'm still not 100% sure I can do the entire quest chain, though. Like, I know I can do the dungeon side of it, but I'm not I don't know if I can still do the raid side of it yet. Also, that I really wish I wasn't doing that question, because it's going to completely screw up the order in which I was going to do the raids in. I was going to do the raids in an order that made sense story-wise and progression-wise. Instead, I'm going to be doing them specifically in that order for that quest. Guado business is Guado business. Oh my god, drop the key! I'm really hoping I'm going to feel better tomorrow. Hopefully no fever dreams tonight, too, huh? Like, for example, one thing I would love to do is actually do the instances, the raids, I should say, in an order that, like, in my mind, makes sense, story-wise. But I can't. Because Hylisk insists I do the Black Temple quest, because he's a weirdo. That also means I'm going to be doing all of the Caverns of Time stuff in kind of a weird period of time. As an aside, the one and only lore relevance of one of the Caverns of Time instances is going to be for that quest, which I find hilarious. I'm going to finish this quest, damn it. I want to reach a logical conclusion point, so I can just start tomorrow with the Mok'Nathal and the Cenarian Expedition. So all that I need is for this frickin' key to drop. Oh my god, it's never gonna drop. It doesn't exist, the key is a lie. The key is a lie. Maybe I don't need the key. Nope, I need the key. Yep, I have to do Hyjal on a rogue in order to do that stupid quest. That stupid, terrible, awful quest. Shadow Moon has no relation to Silver Moon, no. It's actually referred to as Shadow Moon for reasons that I'll discuss when I get there. Oh, you have no idea, Deutsch. I mean, she's 100, so she'll manage, but oh. I like basically all of the... Oh, wow, that's quite a spread. Do I only have 19 viewers right now? I like basically all of the BC raids, except Hyjal. I really do not enjoy redoing Hyjal. In fact, redoing it for this particular run will probably be the last time I ever redo Hyjal. Well, Max Smith, I have been gathering many different mounts across my career as playing this game. So I have a button that literally switches between them pretty much at will. I can throw daggers, Hylisk. Seriously, that's all I got. 105 viewers, 19 voters. One of those numbers is lying to me. Oh my god. For the love of God, drop the key. Why won't you just drop... This has to be the worst drop rate I've seen so far. This is insane. This is absolutely crazy. Yeah, strangely enough, Salted Pork, I just don't enjoy waiting 100 billion years for things that are stupid. I hate Hyjal so much. I'll talk about how stupid Hyjal is when we get there. I'll talk about it when we get there. It deserves to be discussed. Especially since they really screwed it up in more ways than one. But again, we'll talk about it when we get there. If I ever get this key, we may be stuck. We may never be able to finish the Lorerun because we're stuck here forever. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, let's see. There's been BC, Wrath, Cataclysm, Pandaria, Warlords, and Legion. So 6 expansions, counting the one that isn't actually out yet. This is getting silly. I have never had this bad of a drop rate before. I'm gonna go see if I got it, and I just didn't realize it. Because that's happened before. Nope, still don't have it. Oh my god, this is insane. I mean, we've seen some bad drop rates. Because we've been doing a lot of BC content, but wow. This is just, wow. I'm in shock. This is crazy. I'm not a rogue, though. I can't lockpick it. Apparently, Azura. Apparently, that's just what we're at this point in time. Alright, take your bets. How many more kills do you think it'll be as of this point until we get it? I'm going to start keeping track. Keeping in mind I haven't been keeping track up to this point, so that's 1. We just killed 1 more mob. You gotta keep your own numbers in your head. There's 2. There's 3. Four, 5, 6. Oh my god. I'm gonna look up this quest really quick, because to my knowledge it drops off of these guys. Yeah, no, you need to kill them. You need to kill the ogres for it. That's crazy. Okay, so whatever. 6 kills so far. Seven kills. I like how I'm just genociding the ogres looking for this key, too. That bird better, or that wyvern better be very valuable to Rexar. 8, by the way. Nine. I've never had this much of a problem doing this quest. No. Although this is a BC quest, so this isn't that unusual. Which is sad. 10. See, the thing you have to understand, 11, is the way percentage drops work. Now, statistics are a thing. Yes, I am, Venters. There are 3 that drop it, and it's the 3 I've been killing. Statistics are a thing that I don't want to get too much into right now. But the point is, it's not like, you know, let's say they have a 10% drop rate. Well, that doesn't mean if I kill 10, I will get it. That means every time I kill 1, I have a 1 in 10. Okay, so there it was. That was 13. That took 13 kills. Oh my god. Anyway, so every time I kill a creature, if it has a 10% drop rate, that means every kill individually has a 1 in 10 chance. So basically, it would be the equivalent of rolling a d10 until I get a 1. You know, there's no cumulative there. And of course, in some cases, it's even worse than that. That drop rate I just had, and I went and looked, was actually a 2% drop rate, I believe. Here, I'll double check that really quick. Oh, no, my bad. It was actually a 1.2% drop rate. I apologize. 1.2% drop rate. So in other words, every time I killed an ogre, I had a 1.2% chance for that key to drop. On the plus side, the ogres are probably pretty cold at this point. I imagine they're more inclined than they've ever been to join with the Horde now that we've massacred all of them. I think, yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, this is funny. For those of you not aware, those used to be elites. We used to have to group for that. Because, yeah, they were elites and they hurt. Like I said, I am very glad that they got rid of that kind of garbage, basically from Wrath onwards. I am one of those weird people that thinks that killing 50 things to get a quest item to drop is not good. Anyways, I had some lore things to talk about. I've kind of forgotten them now. I guess I'll save them for tomorrow, whenever I remember them. Would you stop quoting me, Samurai?
Loktar!
Okay, Leok has brought us the head from one of the Black Dragons. With this, we will be able to infuriate Gok, the Gron that captured him, and lure him into battle. Now it comes down to this. We will bring Gok forth from his lair. We will destroy him, and with Gok dead, the Bladespire ogres will threaten Mok'Nathal no longer. Go to his lair, blow the horn. I will come and we will face the son of Gruul
With honor.
together. Hey, Shadow. I am pretty strange, I will admit. The funny thing is, because Blade's Edge is so much smaller of a zone than Nagrand, it doesn't feel quite as paddinged with regards to the travel time. But once again, we see that travel time is part of the padding built into the BC formula. So, in case you weren't paying attention, I had to go here, then here, then here, then here. Oh, excuse me, then here, then here, then here, then here, then here, then here. It's a little ridiculous. Alright, I was going to say something. So, one of the other things that I like is each and every single Gron that we take down in Outland, all of the major Gron, the named Grons, all of them is actually part of a major quest. It's not like there's any given Gron we just go after and it's like, hey, I'm here. You know, there was Dern, the Hungerer, and of course there was Grulok, who we encountered earlier. This is Gok. There are 7 sons of Gruul in all. And each one of them is, again, emphasized to be this big, monstrous, powerful thing in lore because of the quest involved. Oh, yeah, by the way, as Psychotic points out, I have flying. In fact, I have fast flying. So, in order, just to give you an idea, so here's where we are. So you'd have to walk down this step, through this valley, up this step, across this bridge over here, then across this bridge and back for that, and then up this and up this for that step. Then this way, and then up this way. And then up over there in order to make that, and it's just ridiculous, is what I'm trying to get at. I don't remember where to summon this. Oh, never mind. I know there is. I know where this is. I know where this is. Yeah, Brigwin and Samurai are some of my more regulars. You know what? I think you guys really deserve to have an understanding of what this is like. So we're just gonna run back. No, I'm kidding. We're not gonna do that. It'll just be padding. This is another one of the Gron's altars right here. In fact, this is one of the more intelligent Gron. One of the more, shall we say, horrifying Gron. Apparently is up there. We'll get to that Gron later, don't worry. That Gron is the Soul Grinder Gron. Yes, it's exactly as bad as it sounds. Where? There it is. Who dares place this affront upon the altar of Gok? So this, he's actually still an elite. We will not have any real troubles taking him down. I am Rexar, son of the Mok'Nathal, champion of the Horde. And their torment at your hand is an end. By my name, I shall put an end to your life. Your name is as insignificant to me as the names of the thousands who have died under the might of Gok. I will crush you. Oh, wow, he's got some health. Good thing is Rexar joins you for this fight, which is really helpful. He's got some health, and he hits like a truck, as he should. Because, you know, he's a Garon. The old gods would easily defeat a Garon. I shouldn't say easily. They would defeat a Garon, though. Garon are strong, but not that strong. 8, I want to say, the Wraith. Something like that. He was pretty young. I could not have achieved victory without you. Why don't you go all the way back to where you just started? Because that's how BC was designed. Now, there are a few, yes, Max-Smith. The Gron, of course, are actually giants in lore, so that's why they're so big. Not every one of them, you know, has such an excuse, of course. I have to admit, even though this would never, ever happen, if they made Gron playable, I'd make one in a heartbeat. Warrior. Just Warrior Gron. Bam! But there's no way they could. Even the smallest of Gron, the ones that are actually made fun of by their fellows because of their size and are relegated to peon and worker duties. The tiny little Gron, yeah, no, they would be... Even they are way too huge to actually be a playable race. They eat things that have more meat on them, Axcac. Like ogres, for example. Oh, tell me about it, Psychotic. Think about how many undead the Lich King could raise out here.
Strength and honor.
The battle was hard, and you fought well, Valvaxis. I am honored to have stood by your side in the battle against Gok. I am thankful beyond words. The Mok'Nathal should know of these great defeats, but I am not ready to face them yet. I know my father's mind, and I know my heart. There's much I can learn to become stronger, to show him I am his true son.
Dabu.
The end, basically. By which I mean we've got two more quest hubs to do. Which we will be doing tomorrow. I'm trying to hopefully get some rest, and in so doing, hopefully...
Be careful.
Wow, third, that's terrible. And hopefully be able to feel better. So tomorrow, we will be continuing Blade's Edge, finishing it, and then starting with... Dramatic pause. Apparently we will be going to the Netherstorm next. And then we will finish up with Shadow Moon. So, see you tomorrow, guys.